Shippies, welcome to the Dreamland. It's Mina. Hello. Hello. How are you guys doing tonight? Hello, Arson. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Hello. Hello. Drum roll. For what? What are we drum rolling for? I am doing okay. Hello, Longy Man. Right. I just remembered. Thank you so much for the follow. Woo! Enjoyed the emote brain. Hello. Welcome. So yeah, where we last left off, some shit went down, and Dad is bad. Dad is bad, everybody. Hi, Momo. Welcome to the Dreamland. Welcome. Hello. Oh my god. Ship went down the unclogged toilet. Bitch! Oh, right. Forgot. Okay. Yeah. Yo! Nice stuff. Let's go. I don't even know what to do anymore. I don't... Minorikawa. Come on, give me somebody to work with here. Hello! Six! Yeah, I know you. Hello! I haven't actually used my Twitch account in ages, but just finished catching up to the 428 watts earlier today, so I figured I'd try stopping by. Even though it's kind of late here by my schedule. Hello, Six! Welcome to the Dreamland! Oh my god, it's so nice to have you. I know who you are. Hello, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, right, they just figured out who died. You might, I think, be some... Cause, like,
Ooh.
just so you know, the bots are actually not completely up to date on the YouTube. This one we're playing today is part 8. So I don't know if you're gonna get spoiled or if that really bothers you. We are... Yeah. They're like 3 parts. I'm a bit slow with bots. Really sorry. But it's up to you if you want to stay. I say that as there's like a huge spoiler on stream, goddammit. Oh, okay. Okay. Relief. Okay, I thought you might not have been caught up entirely. Okay, good. Okay. Yes! Fix us! The TV news continued to report on how Mamoru Tanaka had been killed in a minivan explosion. What does this mean? What does this mean? Chiaki blinked in confusion. I mean, Hana told us herself that the van explosion was her father committing suicide, didn't she? The only explanation I can think of, Minorikawa replied, is that Hana was lying. He scratched his head as he considered the situation. But why would she lie? Maybe she was misinformed, but why would Hana lie? I don't know. That's not the Hana I know. I 100%ed the game before, but it's been a while, so the moment to moment is still pretty fresh. Voting? Voting for what? But why? Chiaki said, while she let out a snort. Well, it would seem as though Toyama had her lie in order to deceive us. What an upstanding individual, using his old daughter to buy himself some time. Minorikawa wanted to yell at the guy, but he managed to hold his tongue. The important thing was that Toyama was still alive. And if he was still alive, then there was still a way to save Heaven Publishing. They get the current issue out on time, with the big scoop waiting in the wings for the issue after that. Thank you so much for coming by, Longy, and please go back to your class. I hope it goes well, too. Thank you for stopping by. Hope to see you again another time. From there on out, it should be smooth sailing. Well, no matter. What's this said? Seeing as Mr. Toyama isn't dead after all, we'll just wait here for him. He sat back down on the sofa. But Sagawa leaned threateningly toward Chiaki. Hey! He snarled. Sure you don't know about the guys hiding out? I don't! Chiaki shot back. And even if I did, I'd never tell you. Say what now? He leaned even closer just as he stood on her tiptoes in defiance, and their foreheads collided with a dull thud. Both reeled back, clutching their heads in their hands. Just calm down, Chiaki, Minorikawa said as he began rooting through Toyama's desk. God damn it. God damn it. Ow! Right in my ouchies. now I'm gonna look for clues as to where Toyama might have gone. You just focus on working on your article. Oh, also raised an eyebrow. Getting uncooperative all of a sudden, I see. I want to change up the plan for next month's issue, and I can't do that without an editor-in-chief's approval. Ava! Welcome to the Dreamland. Hello. Welcome. Sorry, I couldn't resist. What Minorikawa was actually looking for, however, was a back issue of 4-Star General Gossip. He was pretty sure the article on Osawa had been printed in the magazine's inaugural issue. Bleh. I can't talk. If he could find that scandalous piece that the scientists had asked for, he'd also be able to get his big lead about the power balance of the world being at stake. And if he could get that, not only would the next month's issue be a sure thing, it was a good bet that sales figures would go through the roof. He found a file folder full of early material and quickly flip for it. I'm not very good at... I do not know how to read today, I'm sorry. Today is not my reading day. Oh, that's kind of neat. No, no, no! Woo! Stereo Cats, thank you so much for the follow! Where the hell did my... Wait. There it is. Oh, cool. Sorry, I'm messing around on... I'm just messing around on my OBS right now. I'll stop! I promise. There we go. I don't know why I did that. Kind of want you to be down here so I can actually... Let me just space things out a little bit here. Put the audio mixer over here. The controls over here. Okay, nice. Okay, I'm back. Hello. I added sound bites. Since last time? Maybe. Oh, you... Wait. No. Hello, Asterial Cast. Hello. Asteria, not Asterial. I don't know why I put an L in there. Hello. I don't know. That K. Sus. No. I'm too late. I still only have... Yappe. You know, the rumored free. Yappe. Ah! Don't bug. I'm so dumb. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Floundering Okoshi Pharmaceutical arranges marriage with political convenience. That's the one. The large headline is practically jumped off the page. I'm sorry, okay? Minorikawa quickly read over the story. The basic gist of it was like this. The corporate director of Okoshi Pharmaceutical had sacrificed his daughter in order to keep a researcher named Kenji Osawa on board. Huh. Free?
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh. Thank you so much. Blurp. Yeah. I think that worked out. I have them both there and on thingy. Forgot to unmask this fish now. Oh, I love that uwu voice. Yeah, it's great. I think that's the voice of resident horror game YouTuber, mainly Badass Hero. Don't quote me on that, but it sounds a lot like him. So if you like that voice. The daughter, however, had previously been dating another man. That must be what Osawa wanted him to look into. The guy his wife had been dating before they were married. It should be easy enough to just ask whoever had written the article. Minorikawa's gaze jumped to the end of the piece, looking for the writing credit. Toyama! The piece had been written by Toyama himself! Toyama! Ain't you done yet? Sagawa yelled. Tell us what Toyama is already. Yeah, Minorikawa thought. We're going to need to do something about these guys. I could probably come close to that voice with some additional voice mods on. Yeah, I don't think I could do it. I'm still looking into it, he said. Just hold on. He made a show of opening and closing various desk drawers. Drawers themselves were packed with a jumbled mess of electrical and gas bills, noodle house delivery menus, and the like. The faster, Sagawa growled. Let's just... For now, Minutkawa decided he'd better butter this guy up. So you look like a pretty tough guy. You work out? Sagawa grinned, thrusting his fist out in an emphatic air punch. I used to be a boxer. Okay. Back in his boxing days, Sagawa was so tough, people called him the dog fighter of Shibuya. One day, however, as he was walking along, he happened to step onto a strange panel that made him fall into a state of confusion and go on a rampage. He was quickly arrested and his boxing license was revoked. The mysterious panels Sagawa stepped on. They say there are also panels shaped like feet and even panels shaped like rice balls. Is this a reference to something? Yeah. Yeah. I can definitely. I've just got a big range from years of voice acting and being non-binary my whole life. Yeah, that's fair. I could drop a guy like you in one punch. Like, I don't know. I do have some range for sure. I'm working on it, but it's mostly in singing. Like, I don't really have it that much when I speak. Oh, guess there aren't many folks who can give you a good fight then. Sagawa jumped into a fighting pose and threw a few quick jabs. Well, matter of fact, I'm unbeatable in a street fight. They call me the crazy tiger of Shibuya. Shibuya, huh? You familiar with SOS Son? Sagawa's face twisted into a sneer. Wait, those guys? I mean, I've heard they're pretty tough too. Huh. Only one of them who'd be able to give me a fight would probably be that Achiendo. Except as I hear it, he's left the gang. Yeah, I get that. Oh, really now? Heard anything else interesting? It's like nowadays they're being run by some guy named Suzumu. The name Suzumu rang a bell. Those two young punks who'd been arguing after the van explosion had mentioned him. Seems like SOS is in a pretty rough state since she left though, Sagawa added. Minutkawa didn't miss a beat. What do you mean, rough state? Jesus. It's a bit of irritation. Better get hydrated. The oxygen in the room is spicy today. This music is very relaxing somehow. Back in the day, they were all goody two-shoes, never shake folks down or steal or any of that stuff, because their founder actually hated that sort of thing. But now he's out. A lot of rough and tumble, hot-blooded types have been signing up with him. Smart move is not to get involved with this OS nowadays, really. Hard to find a scarier bunch around here when there's a lot of them together. And their main hangout, that's at Inferno, yeah? Yeah, over in Uraharajuku. Also known as Urahara, that's one. Urahara for short. The area is east of the Japan Rail Harajuku station around where Takeshita-dori meets Meiji-dori. There are many small clothing and accessory stores, they hear, set up in renovated houses. Most of these shops are on the cutting edge of US fashion, offering quirky and unique means of personal expression. Man, you've been listening out on the streets, what gives? Uraharajuku, huh? Minutkawa smiled to himself. Inferno's location had practically fallen into his lap. Suddenly Sagawa's eyes went wide. Aha! So that's where Toyama is. Wait, nah, no way a cat like him would go to a place like that. Chiaki looked up from her keyboard. Look, can you please shut up? No, you shut up! No, you! No, you! That's my phone. Minutkawa pulled a cell out of his pocket. Toyama. It was Toyama's name on the incoming call screen. Minutkawa's heart skipped a beat. Toyama, where are you? He blurted out as he picked it up. Chiaki also and Sagawa turned to look at him as one. Well, what were you thinking, faking your death like that? Even if we could fill those pages and postpone repayment, all it would do is delay the inevitable. I'd still be up to my ears in debt. So I thought if I made it look like I was dead. Oh, it's him, okay. Minutkawa let out an exasperated sigh. Well, everyone already knows you're still alive, so your little attempted subterfuge didn't even wind up buying you time. What? Toyama's hysterical squeak was painful to hear. Alright, listen up, Minutkawa said. If it's the day you're worried about, you'll be able to pay that back real soon. What do you mean? I've landed a huge scoop. You could do a print run of 1 million copies and still sell out, if we can run it as an article. Toyama perked right up. Wait, you really mean it? I'll give you all the details, just get your butt back here. But aren't those loan sharks at the office right now? Fine, then I'll come to you. Tell me where you are. The two fucks crowded nearer, a predatory gleam in their eyes, and Minorikawa had a flash of inspiration. Got it, he said quickly before Toyama could respond. Miyashita Park. I'm on my way now. Don't go anywhere. Osu and Sagawa grinned at one another, then bolted out the door. Can't believe they fell for it! Heh, Minorikawa said as their footsteps receded. Those guys took the bait. I sent them to Miyashita Park. He allowed himself a cocksure grin. Right then. So where are you really, Toyama? You imbecile! I am at Miyashita Park! What?! Wait. Seiya Doobie. Also guess we found Blu-ray edition of some of part 4, hehe. Yeah. You moron. F. I know, right? Rip this guy. Minorikawa fought the urge to pull his hair out. What the hell are you doing someplace like that? What the hell did you just tell them Miyashita Park? I thought it would be a clever ruse. Well, it wasn't. This is no time to be fighting! Chiaki butted in. Yeah, you're right, Minorikawa Scott. Anyway, Toyama, those guys are headed your way. We need to get out of there, and someplace we can talk. I can meet you there. Right, okay. They need someplace safe and public where they could speak freely. Somewhere where the staff wouldn't be overly nosy. But where? Noodle? Noodle. Recalling the noodle house from the menu he'd seen earlier, he opted for that. Dogen hot, huh? Toyama rumbled the words under his— What's the matter? Is there some problem with that? Oh, no. Alright, I'll meet you there. It's over in Dogen Saka. The address is on the menu. He hung up and Minorikawa quickly gathered his belongings. Chiaki, how's the copy coming along? Well, almost done. Just a little more, I think. Alright, bring your computer and come with me. I'll read over what you've got so far. Minorikawa waited as Chiaki got ready to head to the cafe. As the two were heading out of the office, however, someone else opened the door. Got 14 minutes and 52 seconds left to send to press. The writer submits to the editor submits to the designer. The next step in that whole handoff process. Naturally, being late for this causes quite a lot of trouble. 56. 55. Whomst? Who's this Togami-looking guy? Who are you? A slender man with a gaudy necktie. His necktie isn't that gaudy. It's just purple. Jesus. Imagine seeing a purple, like a fairly conservative-ish purple necktie and going, this is so gaudy. Have you seen what teachers in the early 2000s wore? I think not. Entered the room and sat down at the nearest desk, staring fixedly at his pocket watch. Minorikawa narrowed his eyes dubiously. Who the hell are you? Always make sure to show up 15 minutes ahead of an appointed time. It's just common decency. The man gave no indication he'd even heard Minorikawa's question. Hides purple necktie. Yeah, gaudy, crazy. I suppose I can wait here, he continued. Just for another 14 minutes and 20 seconds. Mr. Mino? Is this guy talking about our submission? Chiaki stared doubtfully at the newcomer. Hey, you, Minorikawa asked. Are you from the printer? The man did not reply. Don't ignore me! Are you from the printer? Still the man remained silent. Minorikawa was furious. Look, cut the crap! In response, the man quietly reached into his suit pocket and pulled out his business card. Yeah! I could read his name. Joe Nippon Printing Co. Limited, Sales Department Division Number 1, Koichiro Katayama. I'm Koichiro Katayama, newly assigned to Heaven Publishing. A pleasure to meet you. My predecessor is in the hospital due to a car accident. Sachio Uzui, 39-year-old, single, a long-time veteran at Joe Nippon Printing. Rather timid by nature, the strain of dealing with publishers makes him sick to his stomach. At around 1:10 p.m. earlier today, while driving to meet with one of his clients, he had to swerve to avoid a young man and woman who darted onto the street. He crashed into the car next to him and ended up at the hospital. Achi! Hitomi! You little shits! You should make a complete recovery in about 2 months. God damn it. Of course it was Achi and Hitomi. But what are you doing here, Katayama? Minorikawa asked. I thought we had until 8 o'clock to complete proofreading. 8 o'clock? Surely you must be joking. Our company's proofing deadline is 5:30. Katayama stared fixedly back at Minorikawa. Now that had to be a joke. I heard from the editor-in-chief that it was 8 o'clock. I'll take that to mean, then. that you don't have any copy for us. It's not that we don't have it, Minori-kawa said. It's just not finished yet. Just hold on until 8. Katoyama raised an eyebrow. No. Publisher and printer need to work in concert. Perhaps my predecessor was the sort to delay the proofing deadline owing to your circumstances here. But now I'm in charge, and I do not make exceptions. The proofing deadline is 5:30 sharp, and I intend to keep it that way. And while we've been having this discussion, you're down to 12 minutes and 32 seconds. Katoyama held out his pocket watch just as to emphasize the point. Man, he's a shit. He is just... Togami energy on this bitch. That's ridiculous, Minori-kawa exclaimed. Because who the hell do you think you are? You guys are gonna be printing a paper that I wrote. Do you even know how lucky that makes you? Just wait, okay? Just give us... Yeah, just give us till 8 o'clock. Just give us until 8 o'clock. That was the original understanding. It was unfair to change it now. 8 o'clock, And where's your guarantee that you'll finish by then? We will, just trust me. I'm supposed to heedlessly trust the word of a man I've just met, Katoyama mused. We're down to 10 minutes and 46 seconds, by the way. You son of a bitch! Don't get all high and mighty just because you work for the printer. High and mighty? It says the people on the publishing side of the things that act high and mighty. Whatever high-minded claims you might make, without us, you'd have nothing to put on the shelves. Forgetting that and blithely ignoring your proofing deadline makes more work on our end. So what are you getting at, I wonder? That's 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Minori-kawa ground his teeth so hard he could hear it. His usual tactics were useless here. Katoyama was simply too unflappable to be browbeaten. If he backed down now, though, it was game over. 2 minutes and 7 seconds remaining. I realize there's no point, but I'll wait until the designated time. That's just common decency. Katoyama's pet phrase. Thus far, he has said that's just common decency 3 times in the story. Always make sure to show up 15 minutes ahead of the appointed time. I realize there's no point, but I'll wait until the designated time. There was one more. Do you know when and where it was? Gee. Katoyama's eyes were once again locked on his pocket watch. This guy! This asshole! It was no use. Minori-kawa couldn't find a way to talk this guy around. Chiaki held her hand up. May I say something? Isn't it also common decency not to break a promise once it's been made? If you're referring to the 8 o'clock deadline, I was not the one who promised that. Maybe not, but I believe your predecessor's responsibilities become your responsibilities. Katoyama crossed his arm and gave her a bemused look. What's your name, miss? Chiaki, she said bashfully. Chiaki Iso. The printer's expression brightened visibly. Good. That timid hesitation of yours is just splendid. You have none of the arrogance so typical among publishers. Huh? Chiaki was taken rather aback. Chiaki, my precious! She's so good, I love her. In deference to your polite demeanor, I shall wait until 7 o'clock. That is the latest I can possibly allow. Alright! Minori-kawa shouted, practically in Katoyama's face. We agreed to those terms! No, I wasn't talking to... But we got terms of our own. Katoyama reeled over so slightly. I'm not certain you're in any position to set terms here. Just shut up and listen! From here on out, you're coming with us. What? Why? We're going to finish up our copy on site, then burn the data onto CD and hand it over to you there. That's why. Katoyama let out a sigh of resignation. Oh, very well. I suppose I'd simply be waiting here anyway. Minori-kawa pumped his fists in victory. Alright, Chiaki, go and copy the DTB data we got so far into your computer. Sure thing, Mr. Mino. Chiaki quickly set about copying the data from the editing department's desktop. Okay, done! Then let's go! With the others in tow, Minori-kawa headed for the noodle house where Toyama would be waiting. Wow! Hi, Gadeli! Welcome to the Dreamland! It's so nice to have you. Hello. Hello. The soba restaurant Dogen Hut was roughly halfway up Dogensaka. A long-standing noodle shop on Dogensaka. 2 years ago, the owner passed away from illness. Now the restaurant was run by his widow, Maki Yoneda, and her 2 part-timers, Masa from Midoriyama Academy and Mohinder, an Indian exchange student. Despite the sign billing the establishment as a soba restaurant, duck meat soba and chilled curry soba are the only 2 actual soba offerings. The rest of the menu, for some reason, is all udon dishes. And in fact, both kinds of soba are terrible, though maybe the chilled curry soba would be okay if someone else were making it. Rip. Yeah, right, it's just udon. Inside, they encountered the proprietress near the door. She held a massive cleaver for cutting soba noodles clutched in one hand. Toyama wasn't there. Excuse me, Minori-kawa said. Has a middle-aged man come by your shop? His name's Toyama. The proprietress let out a weary sigh.
That guy, huh? You folks know him?
Yes, that's right.
And I'm sorry. I didn't want to have to do this. It was all his fault, though. You reap what you sow.
Minori didn't know what she was going on about, but suddenly he had a very bad feeling. So then Toyama was here? He asked cautiously.
Yes, he came by.
Well, where is he now? Please tell me.
No. I have no obligation to tell anything to friends of Toyama's.
Evidently there was some bad blood between Toyama and this woman.
The real victim here is me!
Her voice rose abruptly to a roar. Now listen up good to this old woman's story. I don't have time for this, Minorikawa thought. He needed to find Toyama as soon as possible. But it sounded like he'd be stuck hearing out this angry woman first. Alright, we're listening. Tell us your story.
It's a long one.
The woman's mouth twisted up and she licked her lips, leaning in to tell her tale.
Long, long ago, when I was still in my 20s, I would often make deliveries to Heaven Publishing. They were some of my best customers. Back then we were so busy my employees practically worked themselves to death. You see, Dogen Hut has the finest soba in Japan, and her spokesmodel was considered one of the most beautiful girls in the world. Back when this woman was in her 20s, Heaven Publishing hadn't even existed yet, but Minorikawa figured he better not correct her. That would probably just piss her off and make her stop entirely. He kept his mouth shut and listened to her silly tale. But anyway, that's all in the past now. As time went on, we had a lot of delivery customers asking us to put their bills on their tab. So much that it became a problem, and we changed our policy to disallow that sort of thing. The fine folks of Heaven Publishing considered themselves an exception to that rule, and I put my part-timer Masa, who does the deliveries, in a bit of a bind.
Okay.
Oh, Masa's a student at Midoriyama Academy.
First year student at Midoriyama Academy. After getting indigestion from eating too much parfait at a fast food restaurant on Sentogai, he was there with his girlfriend to do a dry run for a competitive eating contest. He wound up going to the restroom 14 times in 1 hour. Unable to stand idly by, his girlfriend called an acquaintance of hers, the gluttonous Chiriko Osugi, for advice on improving Masa's intestinal fortitude. Turned out, however, that Chiriko was planning to compete in the same contest. Knowing that they were up against some monumental competition, the two continued their training, wary of the battle to come. Oh, Chiri! He took the day off to go on a date with his girlfriend. I hear they're planning to compete as a couple in some ice cream eating contest that's going to air on TV. So they were going to a practice run together today. Honestly, how ridiculous is that? Honestly, I couldn't care less about Masa one way or the other, Minorikawa thought. This whole experience was turning into a real ordeal. So yes, we were in a real bind. I run a restaurant here, not a charity operation. I'd call and ask them to settle up, but they'd always insist, oh, we don't have any money. And that's a lie. It's gotta be a lie. What else could it be? Otherwise, how could they keep making that magazine of theirs? It's Celebrity Confidential or whatever the hell it is. Celebrity Confidential was the weekly tabloid put out by one of Heaven Publishing's competitors. Minorikawa was just gonna have that to let that egregious mix-up slide. It's fine! It's fine! This is fine! We're fine! And that's not all, the proprietor spat. No, oh no, on top of that, their magazine's little gourmet Gabs corner, whatever they call it, ran a scathing review of us. After that, customers started keeping their distance, and I aged 20 years practically overnight. Gourmet Gabs was a column that ran in Celebrity Confidential. There was nothing of the sort in 4-star general gossip. This woman had clearly gotten the two magazines mixed up somehow. Awful. That's awful, isn't it? All they wanted to do was make soba for people to enjoy, and so to be treated like this, to be treated like this. The woman had started to sob. The cleaver began to waver in his trembling hand. But then, earlier today, these two Yakuza-looking fellows came by. Said they were looking for Toyama from Heaven Publishing. Guess they saw one of our menus at his office and figured he might have come by. You had to be talking about Osu and Sagawa. Ah, yes, asshole number 1 and asshole number 2. They'd both been nearby when Minorikawa was sorting through the desk drawers. They must have spotted the menu then. I told them he wasn't here and hadn't ordered delivery in some time. So I said if I happened to see him to give them a call. And I was gonna turn them away. They looked like a pair of nasty loan sharks. Toyama would never be able to pay off his tab if they caught him. And so I told them as much. The proprietress lowered her voice before continuing, but they said they'd be most appreciative if I could let them know. He even offered to pay his tab for me if I did. And well, I pretty much settled it. So I let them give me their phone number. Minorikawa's face went pale. This lady had been bribed by those two thugs? And so I guess you figured it out. A little earlier, Toyama dropped by, looking like he was trying to lie low, so it all came together. I snuck up back and gave those two a call. So here we are. You guys were just a hair too late. Crap! Toyama had been carted off by the moneylenders. Minorikawa had to find him right away.
It's the Mina!
Jackie squeaked nervously.
We have to hurry up and go look for him.
Yeah. Minorikawa and the others headed for the door. Wait! The voice sounded as if it had echoed up from the very depths of hell. Minorukawa and company stopped in their tracks. You think I can just let you go? Wait, what? The old woman begins to stalk towards them. Those guys, they left without showing their appreciation or paying off that tab. They lied to me. And so, guess who's gonna show me the appreciation I'm owed? Who's gonna pay that tab? You're all in this together, trying to play me for a fool. But hell have no fury like a woman scorned. The princess lifted her cleaver high. The fucking stock music. I love it. Peak. This is peak! A murderous aura surrounded her like a bonfire wind. Wait! We're Toyama's! His friends! Then prepare yourselves! Your place stepped up with your lies! The three companions stood paralyzed with horror, watching their bloody doom approach. The blade glimmered in the dimness as she swung it toward Minorukawa. Time for some fresh meat!
What the fuck?
Minorukawa, Chiaki, and Kasayama screamed, their cries echoing clear across Dogen Saka. Bad end. Tragedy at the Noodle House. It was no ordinary grudge that the proprietors of Dogen had held towards Toyama, as Minorukawa and the others found out firsthand, falling victim to her mighty cleaver. Yeah, this isn't the right place to have the meet out with Toyama. Seriously, who the heck decided this was a good idea?
What the fuck?
I feel like these noises need to be a bit louder. Let me just try that. Oh, they are as... Okay. They are as loud as they can be.
Yappe!
Okay, that one's only 50. That one's fine. But
What the fuck?
I do feel like that what the fuck... Oh, I do feel like that what the fuck one needs to be louder. Like, it's just a smidgen, you know? It's a smidgen too quiet. Well... But I feel like we're gonna get in trouble if we go to the cafe, so should we ask Toyama to decide? I mean, we can try that. I'll try. Bruh! Have you seen my bruh clips that I uploaded to YouTube? Thank you so much for using the biddies. You don't have to. You can just ask Argo to play them for you if you don't want to use biddies. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I think we'll get in trouble if we pick the cafe, so... Nothing suitable came to mind. Probably Toyama should decide. You got any suggestions? Minorukawa said. Let's see. There's a bar in Daikanyama I drop by a lot. How about there? A very fashionable yet relaxed neighborhood in Shibuya. High-end boutiques, high-end restaurants, high-end confectionery shops, high-end cafes, high-end interior design stores, and high-end residential housing all line the streets. A settlement dating back 2,000 years to the Yayoi period has been excavated in Daikanyama, but it cannot be said for sure whether its dwellings were high-end for the time. Was it always high-end? It's in my queue to watch today, and using biddies was my choice! Okay, thanks. But yeah, don't worry about it. Thank you. Just because I can't add channels. Oh, oops. I might not have done the permissions properly. It's kind of difficult sometimes, but I will figure it out. Yeah, that'll work fine. Okay, so start by heading north from Shibuya Station. After a while, then you'll hit a freeway intersection. Turn left there, and then about 100 meters after that, take a right. Along the way, there will be a side street that branches off at a diagonal. Go down that and take a right at the second intersection, then head right down the stairs there, and it'll look like you need to go to the left at this slightly curving incline, but go right and... Okay, this is getting way too complicated. Forget it, I'll pick a place. Minorukawa suggested the cafe by the station. Fake choice! Fake choice! I cry every time. I'm just a sad mod with just a stick. You quickly described the location. Okay, same as this. Cafe Lautrec, got it. I'll see you there. He hung up and Minorukawa quickly gathered his belongings. Jackie, how's the copy coming along? Almost done. We go We going? At least you got a stick. Looks at empty hands full of dreams.
Aww. Hey, look at you! You got a biddies badge. Congratulations.
Okay. Man boy man man over here. Come on. Can I actually skip? I can. I don't want to hear his bullshit any longer, you hear me? Not a stick, but it'll do. Yeah. You and your cute little bitch. Sorry, I'm just... Wanna get to new stuff? Sneak peek looking at old assets now. Already feel nostalgic knowing what's called. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're looking at some of the old stuff? Yeah. Like, if you go back to my old VODs, Jesus, bro. I've gone through such a... Next up, his bullshit, part 2. I don't care, fuck you! You're coming with me, Togami, bitch! I'm sorry, he's just Togami, I don't care what your name is, you're Togami. Mina Tutsuru sounded weird. I can do it. If I just, with some wind up. Something like that. I could probably do it even better. Okay, come on. Can't believe I got a fake fucking choice, bitch. They reached Cafe Lautrec without incident, and Minodika probably spotted the publisher. Over here, Toyama hissed, eyeing his surroundings with obvious unease. Hana sat by his side, suddenly sipping some juice. The waitress came over as Minodikawa joined them. May I take your order? She asked. Water. There's water, sir? Fine, make it a double. Exasperated, the waitress headed back to the kitchen. Toyama looked over at Katayama. Who's this guy? I'm Koichiro Katayama from Chonippon Printing. Katayama presented his business card. Toyama turned to Minodikawa with a quizzical look. There's someone from the printer joined with you. I'll explain later. There's no time for that right now, Minodikawa replied. Oh my god, Jackie's computer's great! I love it! Ah! This is the energy I want for my laptop. You must be on the wrong world line. First I need you to answer some questions. Does the name Kenji Osawa ring any bells? Osawa? Toyama closed his eyes and thought. He has a laboratory in Okosha Pharmaceutical. You ran a piece on him in the first issue of 4-Star General Gossip. Toyama's face lit up with recognition. Ah, yes, that political marriage piece. I would be scared for that laptop to be misused as a plate of anything you could put. Fairly for that! Yeah, I would love to decorate my computer area like that. Why is Hana having slime juice? She's having melon soda, you dumbass! How dare you not recognize melon soda? Can't believe you. Yeah, that one. Do you remember the details from that article? Of course. Who do you think I am? Toyama puffed himself up proudly. I used to be a local news copy editor from the Central Times. I've got the details for all the stuff I've ever covered here in my head. In that case, do you know who Kenji Osawa's wife was dating before they got married? Toyama blinked his eyes vacantly. Hey, what's the matter? Minodikawa asked. This is a pretty tough pop quiz you're giving me. Surprise, kids! It's time for a science quiz! What colorless, odorless gas, lighter than and air and used for consumer and municipal glass applications is also known as marsh gas or swamp gas? Tune in next time for the answers. Propane? I actually don't know. Is it methane gas? Chiaka laptop has the energy of this person who sent it to repair because it breaks if overheating and turned out client blocked all of the airflow by trying to decorate or misuse it. Shh! I don't know. Cut the crap, man. You just said you had all the details inside your head. Oh, they're in there already. Methane. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry! I'm so dumb.
0 brain cell sheep over here.
They're in there, alright? They're just not coming out. Minodikawa slumped. Mr. Toyama, please! Whether or not you'll be able to pay off your debts depend on your memory here. Hearing this, Hana casts a cold glare up at her father. Ooh, alright. I can remember. I can at least try. Seiya folded his arms and hummed to himself, his gaze turned inward. Look, Ava, I'm not very smart, okay? I don't know a lot of things. That's the kind of person I am. So, I feel like it was a really common name. Ah! Mina has strong opinions. That's 5! Oh, I'm in the low flying IQ. I just happened to watch a time traveling documentary that ironically mentioned swamp gas. Oh my god, that's funny. Talon! Welcome to the dreamland! I just saw your little emote there. Hello! Welcome. How are you doing? Sato! Chiaki chirp. Yamada! Was it either of those? They're pretty common names. Let's say I should get first. Minorikawa offered a guess of his own. Tanaka! Tanaka! No, not that. It was something else. Wait! No! Wait! No! No, that's got no! 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 Wait, really? Wait! Wait. No! I thought it was Tanaka. The remains of the individual discovered within the minivan itself has since been identified as pharmaceutical company executive Mamoru Tanaka. Mamoru Tanaka? Simon turned around to look at the TV. An image of the victim's face appeared on screen. What? The publisher blurted, nearly falling out of his seat. That's it! It was him right there! Mamoru Tanaka! That's what I said, Tanaka! Okay, I was right. I was like... Toyama pointed excitedly at the TV screen. That's who Kenji Osawa's wife was dating before they got married. Mamoru Tanaka! Minorikawa felt himself getting goosebumps. The victim of the terrorist bombing in Shibuya was also linked to the researcher who was key to a terrorist viral scare. His reporter's hunch was now a certainty. Right now, Shibuya was at the center of some massive conspiracy. This went far beyond even a major scoop. I mean, yeah, this was pretty obvious. Dun dun dun! Mr. Toyama, we need to make sure that next month's issue hits shelves. Minorikawa called up Kenji Osawa to let him know the results of his little investigation. The man didn't seem terribly surprised. Probably he'd had his suspicions all along. Osawa told him that there was something he needed to do before he was ready to give details on the big scoop, but that he would call back later. In the meantime, Minorikawa knew he'd have his hands full getting the current issue of Gossip wrapped up with the 7 o'clock deadline. He slapped his hands down on the table. Alright, emergency editing meeting right here, he announced. I love her laptop so much. The energy it has. I would like to see in detail what those pictures are, but... We need to get a lead in on the Shibuya terrorist bombing into the next issue. The article about the twins winning the beauty contest can be dropped for that. We'll use info from Kenji Osawa as the basis from a big scoop of the issue after that. Mr. Toyama, any problems with that? No, that should be fine. But what about the remaining pages for the next month's issue? Minorikawa opened the file on his computer. The layout built into DTP came out with the monitor. The report on the Burning Hammer sales demo. The surveillance camera opinion piece. The interview with the Wadai. Those 3 were finished. The copy already incorporated into the layout. Once Chiaki's street interview piece was loaded in, that one could be checked off as well. Chiaki, how's your copy coming along? I'm sorry. I just need a little bit longer. The writing seemed to still be giving her a fair bit of trouble. The article on SOS was still just a placeholder in the layout. And Minorikawa hadn't even gotten any material for that, putting it even further behind than Chiaki's street interviews. Still, he'd at least learned where Shibuya's legendary street gang made their hangout. He'd just have to take the risk of dropping in on them, unannounced, to ambush them with some interview questions. And then there was the lead-in for Shibuya bombing. That wasn't even in the layout yet. It was a completely blank slate. Against all odds, they were gonna need to put that article together from nothing within just an hour and change. It was an impossible amount of work for just him and Chiaki to do. Well. And how are things coming along? Katoyama rose and came closer, trying to peer at the monitor. Minorikawa hurried to cover the screen. Don't look! If the printer rips all the blank pages, he might decide to stop waiting. Would you mind telling me roughly what % of the total you've completed thus far? What percent? Come off it, man. We're 100%. you're 100% done, that implies that you're all finished. Could I please have the data then? No, I'm saying our willpower is at 100%. I'm not even gonna pretend I understand what you mean by that. Shaking his head, Katsuyama sat back down. Nope. Minorukawa, Katsuyama asked, his expression uneasy. So I know I asked before, but why is someone from the printer here again? Katsuyama promptly chimed in. The long and short of it is that your proofing deadline has been changed to 7 o'clock, he said. What? But that's impossible! You're doing the lead-in for the Shibuya bombing. Katsuyama eyed Minorukawa and then Chiaki both stared back non-committally. It really is impossible. We'll never meet that deadline. We don't have enough people. No, we do have enough. Minorukawa thrust out his finger. Mr. Toyama, you're gonna write that one and handle the layout. What? Heaven Publishing is your company. Won't you step in order to protect it? Toyama hung his head. Even if I hit it to the scene right now, I'm sure the other outlets have already gotten their coverage. I wouldn't be able to find anything new to write about. Wow! This is what- Katsuyama, bitch! Look at him! Look at that bitch stare and sigh! He was just like... Wham! I can't believe they're using all the budget to leave in this clip of all things. So you're just gonna give up? A moment later, Toyama was on the floor, Minorukawa glaring down at him. You've always said you wanted to tell the world about the things the mass media can or won't write about. So what the hell difference does it make if they've already gotten the soundbites they're after? Minorukawa's voice was raw with emotion. I fucking love this. I fucking love this! Don't you dare give up! Not that easily! Get your ass out there! Find something that only you can write about! Minorukawa. Toyama began to object, then he glanced over at Hana. There's an imploring look in her eyes as well. Think about who you really are, Toyama! Toyama! I'm sorry. I get what you're saying, Toyama grumbled, but still you're expecting a lot. But then, despite his word, he flashed a broad grin. Yeah, Minorukawa let out a quiet chuckle. And it's got you all fired up! Yeah, I'm fired up, alright. Toyama's face shone with a resolve Minorukawa hadn't seen in a long time. There we go. That's the Toyama I know. You know, I'm really sorry. Now I see the huge burden I put on you. But damn it, it's gonna be alright. Getting to his feet, Toyama took his daughter by the hand and strode boldly out of the cafe, looking like a changed man. Minorukawa watched them go, glad the dithering was over. Even if Toyama were still in his prime, he'd be cutting it close to do that article in an hour, but he would pull through somehow. When it came to taking care of Hana, the man would rise to the occasion again and again. Yeah, family! Literally knocked some sense into him. Father and daughter disappeared into the crowd, hand in hand. Yeah. Minorukawa shook himself out of his reverie. Alright, he cried. Despite the clear blue sky, an unexpected gust of wind blew across his street. Come on, guys! We gotta get going! Things might look grim, but he wasn't gonna give up until the bitter end. It was time to head to the SOS hangout, Inferno. The three ran long and hard after leaving the cafe, and if the proofing deadline was 7 o'clock, they needed to finish up with SOS by 6:30 at the latest. We have time to talk about our billboard and singer Ayakabiki. The gang's hangout was in Uraharajuku. Running all the way there on foot was gonna eat into too much of their time. But traffic was at a near standstill for some reason, and there wasn't a taxi in sight. How long do you plan on running like this? Katsuyama called out, panting. But take a look at the road! With this traffic, there's no point in hailing a cab. Even Minorukawa was feeling the time pressure now. We're just gonna have to keep running until the road's clear. What? Katsuyama wailed. Stop your whining. Just keep quiet and stick with me. He'd finally gotten Toyama to find his willpower again. Next month's issue would come out on time, and no way was some printer guy gonna mess that up now. But the traffic showed no signs of abating. Catching a cab wasn't gonna be an option. Fighting an ever louder echo of despair, Minorukawa kept up his desperate headlong rush. The rush into a situation recklessly or heedlessly. Not quite the same as being Daredevil. Nope, just a fool. Still, there were limits to how far the mind could push the body before exhaustion set in. Eek! No! Chiaki! No! they were running across a pedestrian overpass, Jackie slipped and took a nasty fall. She skinned her knee hard enough to draw blood. Hey you, Minori snapped at Katayama. Don't just stand there! Help the poor girl already! Katayama scurried over to Chiaki.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mino.
Chiaki's voice bubbled with suppressed tears. Maybe it was cruel to make her run with the computer all the way to Uraharajuku. But the copy for her interview still needed to be looked over. They couldn't just leave her here. Minori hesitated, undecided. Even at full run, they wouldn't make it in time. And with traffic the way it was, there was nothing they could do. You now have... Katayama consulted his pocket watch. Exactly 1 hour remaining. Damn it! Minori raged. What do we do? Relentlessly, the clock ticked on. No, Chiaki! Wait, really? That's it? What? Oh, he said exactly 1 hour. Right. Oh my god, it's it? That was it? That took... What? Okay. Well, I think I want to go with Osawa, because there was a jump to Osawa in Minorikawa, so I'm just gonna go by the jumps, and then we'll take it from there. The rain won't let up. The sound is growing louder and louder inside my head. It is the sound of regret, spattering against my heart. My emotions surge like a terrible storm within me. I never wished for this. Never expected my heart to be dragged so far beyond my control. Mina setting up the timeline rules. Well, I mean, I just want to be... We can't save Maria. I just... You know. We can't save Maria. We can't save her. The words stormed through Osawa's mind in relentless cacophony. He called up images of the bodies from the human testing trials on his computer monitor. He couldn't help but imagine his daughter in the same gruesome state. It's just a few more hours. Maria would begin hemorrhaging blood and die just like the people in the pictures had. Sell the stock tracks! We can't save Maria. We can't save Maria. We can't save Maria. He couldn't shake the words of the reality from his mind. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Sam began pounding his fist fiercely on the desktop. Sir, what are you doing? Kajibara tried to intervene, but he kept on pounding away. Pounding away. I don't know, I kind of like these. Very dramatic, but like, fitting. When he finally ceased, the pain of the repeated impacts lingered in his hands. My research was never about any sincere desire to help people. And now I'm paying the price for that. The one time it finally matters, I can't even save my own daughter. Miss Osawa. Hajiwara set a hand on his shoulder. You can always blame yourself later. But for now, think again good and hard. Is there really no other way to save Maria? Nothing else we could try? Osawa shook his head. The only means we had left was using Tanaka's password to unlock the doors. And now Tanaka's dead. There's no other way. Is there a possibility that Mr. Tanaka stole someone else's password? This is something Osawa hadn't considered. Was there anyone Tanaka might have shared his password with? Only one person came to mind. Oh yes, there may be someone. You're referring to I, sir? Did you want to cast his eyes down? You figured that out then? Yes. Back during the commotion over that listening device. An exact clip isn't typically the sort of present one gives to one's husband's co-worker. And yet although some might consider it somewhat, inappropriate, Mr. Tanaka was wearing it as if it were a matter of course. Which, implies something about their relationship. Kajiwara's voice trailed off. He coughed apologetically and tried again. I realize it's an awkward situation, sir, but please check with your wife. Even if I just happen to know the password, that does us no good if Maria gets quarantined someplace we can't reach her. I understand, Mr. Osawa. I'll bring Maria to you then. I'll do everything in my power to make that happen. Have some bananas. The detective then produced a bunch of bananas from his pocket. How deep are those pockets? Is he Mary Poppins? I swear to God. These are all left over. You're more than welcome to them, sir. Despite his gentle smile, the rest of his face was firm with resolve. I love you so much, Kajibara! You said you didn't care whether other people understood you, didn't you, Mr. Osawa? Real deep, he got every banana in his grasp. Every banana in the universe! His pocket is like it's like a pocket dimension to like a banana. like a banana, what is it called? Like a banana field. It's just bananas everywhere. And he just reaches inside and takes some bananas. So I nodded guardedly. At the risk of being presumptuous, sir, I understand you, Kachiwara said. I used to be quite the workaholic myself. You're just like me, innocent and awkward. On another occasion, Kachiwara was shocked to run into a man who looked just like him. The fellow was a stylist at a hair salon Kachiwara visits on occasion. He let out a gasp of surprise of his own upon seeing the detective. Kachiwara felt a peculiar connection, and was expecting to go to the salon regularly, but when the stylist asked what he did for a living, and Kachiwara answered honestly that he was a detective, the other man's face went pale, and he bolted out of the building. Kachiwara never saw the man again after that. Elemental plane of banana. Yes! That's his pocket dimension, is the elemental plane of banana. Feeling yourself innocent, huh? How modest of you. So let out a sardonic chuckle, but after a moment Kachiwara joined in. The next time I see you, Mr. Osawa, I'll have Maria with me. The detective gave a slight bow, then left the study, a look of determination on his face. I'm just imagining an air place made of banana. Yeah. Osawa watched him go with admiration. No matter what trouble arose, the man always looked for something he could do. He really was a fellow who knew how to hang tough. Compared to that, Osawa couldn't even articulate his own self-disgust. Come on! And asking Ai about the password would also mean inquiring into her relationship with Tanaka. The prospect was daunting. Venturing into the emotional territory of another person was his weakest suit. He left his study, but somehow found himself making his way to Maria's room, not Ai's. He realized that he hadn't been into his daughter's room since a certain rainy day years before. Now he stepped quietly inside and saw Maria's world laid out before him. A small photo was set atop her neat and tidy desk. It was a close-up of someone's hands doing a cat's cradle. Whose hands were they? From the skin tone, they didn't appear to be Maria's. Several more photographs were pinned to a corkboard that hung on the wall. They were snapshots of people and townscapes from the Middle East. One glance at them and Osawa felt like he was back there for a moment. The images weren't necessarily aesthetically pleasing, but they all looked like they'd been taken by a professional. When he spotted the last photo on the corkboard, however, he was certain that Maria had taken them all. Aww. The last picture was of Osawa himself. He was facing the camera, holding some luggage and flashing an awkward smile. It was a comical, affectionate image. He'd never known that photography was one of his daughter's hobbies. No, this went beyond a mere hobby. Did she perhaps aspire to be a professional photographer one day? She certainly had the aptitude for it, from the look of things. Is this plot from Back to the Future? Maria, photographer. As he mulled the idea over, Osawa felt his chest tighten. Right now, it looked like Maria's hopes and dreams were about to be snuffed out. Her future consisted of bleeding to death a few short hours from now. Osawa stared vacantly out the window. The view from Maria's room remained unchanged from so long ago. Again, that rainy day crept back into his mind as vivid as the present. On that day, Osawa was dealing with some pressing business from work. He'd ensconced himself in his study, wrestling with some paperwork when Hitomi barged in looking distraught.
Maria's gone!
Sensing that Hitomi was legitimately alarmed, Osawa hurried to Maria's room. He found a letter she'd left atop her writing desk.
Dad, you only care about Hitomi. You're always working and never do anything with me, so I'm running away.
A few hours earlier, he'd cancelled their weekend trip to the amusement park. He just wasn't going to be able to get his work done in time. Hitomi had resigned herself readily enough, but Maria just couldn't accept it. She'd been looking forward to it for so long, she railed at him. How many times now had he broken one of his promises to her? Hitomi understands why we can't go, so why can't you do the same? A cold rebuke had ended her complaining, but it was clear she still didn't accept the situation. No, Hitomi helped him look around, but they found nothing missing from Maria's room. Despite her assertion that she was running away then, it seemed like there was no point in being overly concerned.
Maybe she's at the park she always goes to?
Hitomi looked worried. The park was roughly a 25-minute walk from the house. It would only take about an hour for Osawa to go and bring her home. But an hour was more than he could afford to spare right now.
Dad, I think she's waiting for you to go after her.
Osawa didn't need Hitomi to tell him that. He knew it well enough. that was what galled him so much about the situation. Why did she have to pull something like this precisely when his work was at the busiest? He had done everything he could as a father since his wife had passed away. But couldn't his daughter see that? It's alright. Your sister will come back. The rain was coming down pretty hard outside the window.
Do you think she brought an umbrella?
Tommy asked anxiously. I don't know, but with the rain like this, she'll come back home soon enough. He spoke the words for himself as much as for he told me. Then he headed back to his study and got back to work. But several hours went by and still Maria did not return. The rain had gotten even more intense, to the point where Osawa could hear it in his study. He was so concerned about his missing girl that he couldn't focus on his work, but he stubbornly refused to give in and go search for her. Several more hours passed. At last, Maria appeared at the front door, soaking wet. Osawa met her silently in the entryway. Wet strands of hair clung to the girl's forehead as she looked up at her father with a bitter glare.
You don't care what happens to me, do you?
Immediately, Osawa smacked her across the cheek with the flat of his hand. It was the first time in his life he'd ever struck anyone. He hadn't known such a violent impulse could exist inside him. Maria stood there, her hand pressed to her cheek. Tears welled up in her eyes. She began to tremble. On her lip was a small bead of blood. A flood of guilt and regret rose up inside Osawa, as if he just shattered some intricate piece of glasswork. How could I do such a thing? He clenched his shameful hand into a fist. And in that moment, he was afraid of Maria. Afraid that his daughter could bring such raw emotion out of him and make him do something so thoughtless. But even more, he was afraid of how stunted he was as a human being. Was someone like him really fit to be a parent? What kind of future could Maria and Hitomi hope for with a father like him? That was why he'd married Ai as Makino had proposed. Having a mother, he decided, would help keep his family together, despite their sad excuse for a father. But in so doing, Osawa had dug a psychological ditch between himself and his daughters. A deep ditch, so that he could keep his daughters from being hurt. So that he wouldn't hurt himself. Now Osawa was staring across that ditch, wondering if it was too wide to leap. Pretty sure this is the plot of time-traveling parents. He thought back to his earlier exchange with Kachibara. If you get angry, you show it. If you get sad, you show it. It's human nature to let other people know how we're feeling after all. But what if doing that hurts the other person? That's when you apologize, sir. I love you so much, Kachibara. I love him so much! Yes, that was right. He needed to apologize to Maria for what he'd done that day. It still wasn't too late. It's never too late. When it comes to family, there's no such thing as game over. And possibly the next week's show, Sisyphus the Myth. Oh, great! He would call Pretty Honey's words. He needed to apologize to Maria, and so he needed to ask Ai for that password. So I was gonna have to face his wife. Look at our boy. Oh. Never mind, we're not gonna look at our boy. Psych! We're going... we're going to Minorikawa and we're gonna break right through that! Woo! No look, keep out, no touchy! Illegal! Haha! Haha! Gotcha! Woo! Osawa's phone rang and Minorikawa's phone number popped out on the LCD display. The reporter must have finished looking into the matter Osawa had asked about. Miss Osawa? Sorry to keep you waiting. How did it go? Well, I looked into the background of that story you asked about, and I learned who it was your wife was dating. Who was it? Osawa asked immediately. There was a brief pause. Mamoru Tanaka. I see. Finally he had proof, positive of a relationship between I and Tanaka. Now more than ever, it was no time to waver. Gotcha, you're not Apollo, Mina. Now I am! I can be your Apollo! To the moon! No matter how painful the reality was, it was also true that if they hadn't been dating, there would probably be no way of saving Maria. So, Minorikawa said, what's this big thing about disrupting the power balance of the world all about? There's something I need to take care of on my end first. Once I'm finished, I'll tell you everything. Yeah, that's fine. Things are pretty hectic on my end right now anyway. If you can be my Apollo, then I can be your Truce. Yeah. Do you have a Mr. Hat? So I had expected Minorikawa to put up more of a fight. He figured the reporter for 4-star Journal Gossip would be a bit more persistent. Oh, by the way, there's one other thing I wanted to tell you, Mr. Osawa. So I could practically sense the finger pointing his way from the other end of the line. Don't be too angry with your wife. All too often in this world, people let their anger get in the way of solving their problems. You may have a point. Osawa let out a wry chuckle. Alright then, I'll call you back later. Look at Minorikawa giving solid advice. He's actually giving pretty solid advice. No, I don't have Mr. Hat, but I punch really hard and have a bunch of jokers. I see. It sounds like a very cursed edition of Trucy. Trucy, but she punches people now. I saw Fondai standing by herself in the yard. She kept her back to him as he approached. May I have a moment? He asked quietly. What? So she didn't bother to turn around. There's something important I need to talk to you about. I'm not in the mood right now. Please, I realize you're upset about Tanaka's death, but at the mention of Tanaka's name, I slowly shook her head. Don't. Just tell me what you want. Hurry up and get to the point. So I tried to move closer to her, but she pointedly kept her distance. This is no time to mince words. Did Tanaka give you his password? His password? The electronic log on the lab. I need it in order to get the antiviral out. I turned to face him at last. To get it out? What are you thinking? It belongs to the company. I just need one dose to save Maria. Please. If you know, please tell me. I don't know it. His voice was barely a whisper. Masao looked his wife right in the eye. You're telling the truth. I am. I see. Then, do you have any idea what number he might have used for a password? I shook her head silently, then turned her back to her husband once more. Even if I did know, she said, I wouldn't tell you. Why not? Don't you get it? I's words came out as a strangled grasp. You even know why I'm with you? She snapped. You really have no idea how much you're worth, do you? The value of one woman's life versus the potential profits your research would bring in. There's no comparing the two. If it meant that a kosher pharmaceutical could monopolize your talents, then what did it even matter what I wanted for myself? There was something akin to desperation in I's words. And so you sent me those threatening emails too. What? I looked at him in shock. He knew he guessed correctly. You go that far, just to keep me tied to your father's business. That's right. I would. I bit down on her lip hard. What do you even know about how I feel? I'm sorry. Don't apologize. I'm not the victim here. You say that. But isn't it because of me that you and Tanaka weren't able to stay together? I began to tremble. Her secret was out. When did you figure it out? She asked. Earlier today. That tie clip. Right. The sort of gift one gives to a husband's co-worker, is it? My smile was bitter with self-deprecation. I don't know, I mean... I still don't love her, but people are complicated. I kinda like this, Also, I couldn't help but pity her. Even Tanaka must have suspected that she placed the company's profit above all else, even if she'd go to such lengths to protect it. It was like she'd given up her entire life just for that. Please, don't mess my life up any more than you already have. I's words were only a faint murmur, but Osawa felt the rejection they carried with agonizing clarity. Tanaka hadn't given Ai his password. Osawa's last chance had gone up in smoke. He let out a long, shaky breath and shut his eyes tight. Was it true? Was there nothing more he could do? Damn it! We got booted again! We got boo-booed again. We got boo-booed again. Osawa just keeps up the boo-boo. Okay, what do we do now? Wait, can I... Why are you... Hello? There you are. Oh, I just can't move that way. Okay, I want to see what Achi is up to. There was some shit going on in his mood last time. Achi told Stanley and he told me what his father had done. As she listened, he told me hung her head. Her face was sallow. I'm so sorry, Achi told her. I'm not really sure what to say. He clenched his fist so hard his knuckles popped, struggling to keep his emotions in check.
So if I were rendered brain dead, you could help your sister,
he told me murmured. Seiya brain function has ceased irreversibly. In Japan, there are two conditions for declaring brain deaf. Breath deaf? Brain deaf. The first is that the patient must be comatose and in a state of apnea, no longer breathing, due to damage to the brain. The second is that the root cause is diagnosed and it is deemed that no reasonable treatment would restore brain function. Ah, okay, interesting. Naruhodo. I should not only snatch the best girl, but now also snatch the best Stan. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. He stole Stanley. Stanley's his now. Wait. Okay, sorry about that. Stop! I just said quite quickly. Please, don't say things like that. A sad look came to Hitomi's face and she pressed her right hand to her heart.
I mean, to find out like this.
She turned to Achi, tears glistening in her eyes.
I want to help your sister, but...
We have other things to worry about right now. This time it was Stanley who cut her off. Remember, Alfred is after you, he told me. Isn't that what Kanan told you?
Yes, she said I was the mastermind's target.
Hitomi wiped her tears away with her fingertips. So Alfred and Achi's father are after the same thing, Stanley said. Is that just a coincidence? Like, okay, I was actually thinking about that last time, whether, like, it's kind of half jokingly, but I was like, what if Alfred is Endo? But that's silly. Would he be too young? It didn't sound like he thought so. I don't think so either. Hold up, Achi growled, leaning in from the back seat. Yeah, my dad's way out of line. But he did what he did for Suzune. He wouldn't work with terrorists. Like, what if he is Alfred? I don't know that he's not. I'm not saying he's deliberately aiding terrorists, Stanley replied coolly. It's common sense that a pro wouldn't get an amateur involved with their plans. That makes it too likely that a clumsy misstep will cause things to fall apart. But then again, that's not the way Alfred thinks. So, actually, the likelihood of failure could well be part of the plan. Achi thought back to what Kanan had said earlier.
If you achieve your goals using accidental means, the outline becomes blurred, and it makes it harder for anyone outside looking in to grasp what the actual plan is. Not only have they put together a perfect plan, they've purposely left certain tiny holes in it.
Ooh, shit. Ooh, boy! So if we assume the plan has failed, the slip-up might be exactly what Alfred wants, Stanley muttered. Sort of an intentional hole, then, Achi said. Stanley snorted. Kanan told you guys that too, huh? If that's the case, then you really are a fool. What did you just call me? Achi barked. If you've known all along how formidable this opponent is, you should have given Hitomi over to police custody right away. It's only a matter of dumb luck that either of you are still alive right now. No! It's a matter of me replaying 1,000,000 times to keep these two idiots alive! Look, luck or not, me and Hitomi have managed to get by safely. That's all that matters. It's thanks to me that you idiots are alive, you hear me? What exactly is the relationship between you two anyway? Are you guys dating? Shush, don't spoil the timeline to Stanley. Actually, he told me exchanged glances. When he told me hesitated uneasily, Acha decided he'd better speak up. No, it's not like that. We just happened to run into each other earlier today. Guess I'm not the kind of guy who can abandon someone in trouble. Can abandon someone in trouble, huh? You sure you're not just trying to make yourself feel self-important? There are plenty of people out there that you can't see who is also in trouble, who are also suffering. If you only have the ones close at hand, then what's the point, really? The world's a lot bigger than you can imagine, and there's a lot you're blind to. So what? If I see someone who's in trouble, I'm supposed to just ignore him? Nah, I can't do that. If I see someone who's collapsed from hunger, I'm not gonna just walk on by because there are people starving somewhere else in the world. I'd be all, hey, let me treat you to a beef bowl or whatever. You couldn't have come up with a smarter example? Stanley replied with a tiny laugh. Oh, come on! That was a great example! Sometimes you just gotta buy a dude a beef bowl. Sometimes you just gotta get a dude a beef bowl, okay? God. Really gotta... Come on! Okay, so I'm an idiot, Achi scowled. My bad. Stanley laughed again. Today's been an interesting day, he said. I was with another fellow earlier who was just like you. Meaning what? Was he an idiot too? Yeah, he was an idiot. Do all you Japanese have the problem? Hardly. My little sister's so smart, she'd make your eyes pop out. I'm sure you're relieved to hear that. If everyone in this country were as dumb as you guys, I might actually start to like this place. Hey! Huh? What does that even mean? Looks like I can understand, man, Achi shot back. I can hear Chia so much right now with those comments. It's like, I like it! It's like, I don't care that he's like, dumb or whatever. Sometimes you just need an idiot. Sometimes you just need an idiot. Sometimes we just need an idiot to save the world, okay? But Stanley didn't respond. Instead, he stuck his head out the car window, peering at the road ahead. Stanley's such a 6 pro tag of this game. I love him. They were close to Shibuya Station now, and the traffic had ground to a halt. Gridlock again? Stanley grumbled. Probably better to walk the rest of the way to Indo Electronics. Pulled over on the side of the road. Specifically, the shoulder that runs along either side of the traveled portion of the roadway. A place where trash tossed out the windows of moving cars tends to accumulate. Tossing cigarette butts and empty cans out onto the street can potentially hurt people, and it definitely makes a mess. Please don't litter. Don't litter! You hear us? Don't litter! No littering. Nuh-uh, illegal. Stop. As he got out of the car, feeling his guts gnawed up with worry. Pretty soon he was gonna have to confront his father. Stanley gave Achi a look. You scared about meeting with your father? I'm not scared. First things first, I'm gonna punch him right in the face. Then we can have ourselves a chat. Don't let your emotions get out of control. Your father might be one of the key players in this case. I don't give a damn about that. Achi took Hitomi by the hand and started walking. Yeah! You tell him. They've gone up and down Dogen Saka so many times today already. But this is probably the last time he and Hitomi will make their way up the hill together. Littering is so last year, I know, right? And she walked at an easy pace, wanting to delay the end of their time together just a little longer. Once they reached his home, his kidnapping case would be all over, because his own father, Daisuke, would be arrested as the culprit. Kidnapping for ransom carries a potential life sentence? With a definite term of imprisonment of no less than 3 years. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but damn. Bringing Daisuke down would be easy, and she wasn't worried about that part at all. If he didn't hold back, there was a good chance he'd wind up hurting his father. Holding back. Getting hurt. A memory from long ago arose in Achi's mind. A pure right karateki, thrusting out with his left fist. Daisuke collapsing to the floor. One of many memories of his father that Achi could not forget. Wow. Okay. Jesus. Kneeling before the memorial altar of his mother Kotone, Achi wept uncontrollably. He clutched his ohajiki tightly in his hand. A So I made a small coin-shaped glass bead, somewhat similar to marbles. The typical game involves flicking one's pieces into the opponents with a fingertip. Special rules vary greatly by region. Achi had always been rather clingy with his mother. When she was alive, she'd often joined him for ohajiki, origami, and the like. On this particular day, Achi had come home miserable after getting bullied by the neighborhood kids for acting like a wimp. Achi. He turned up to see his father, holding 2 cups of shaved ice. Come here for a bit. They sat on the stairs together, eating their sweet frozen confections. Aww. You wanna get tougher? Daisuke's words were soft and simple. How about you and me get tougher together? And she looked up at his father, frowning in confusion. How are we gonna do that? Well, for starters, how about we learn some karate? Karate? Why? Achi's face twisted up unhappily at the idea. Ugh! Moving! Around! Ugh. He couldn't even imagine himself punching or kicking anyone. Wow! It'll be alright, his dad said. I'll go with you, don't you worry. Daisuke flicked one of his scrawny arms. His biceps bulged up the tiniest bit. Achi was well aware that his father wasn't much of an athlete. There had been an athletics meet at his grade school. Even now, the memory of Daisuke tripping clumsily during the parent participation relay was burned into Achi's mind. A type of children's event where the parents who have come to watch their children compete are asked to join in with them. Daisuke took part in the tug-of-war, only to get tangled up in the rope and dragged over the line. Achi was understandably disheartened by his father's embarrassing display, but after eating the lunch his father had made for him, his spirits quickly returned. Daisuke had made rice balls that were clumsily oversalted, but Achi could tell how hard he'd worked to prepare them. Aww. I guess, if you're gonna be there. And so the two began training together at a local karate dojo. Achi put on his white gi and fastened his obi tightly. As he did so, he felt as if his feelings were being anchored in place as well. 1, 2, 3. Whoa! Hiya! Achi's gi sleeves made a whooshing sound as he thrust out his fists in time with the sensei's chant. Even simple kata practice made him feel like he was getting stronger somehow. His dad, having left Susan in the care of their neighbors, was working up a sweat alongside him. But he was out of shape and his technique was shaky. He was soon exhausted and went to lean up against the dojo wall. Achi stared out of the training circle and called out to his father. Dad, are you okay? Yeah. I'm just gonna take a little break. Daisuke sounded like he was on the edge of hyperventilating. Thanks, Dad. Well, before. You're asking me to come take karate lessons with you. And she was sure he'd never had dared to go to the dojo alone. Hey, just as long as you're liking it. Now go on, get back to training. With a deep bow, Achi resumed his kata practice. As they were walking home from the dojo, Achi turns to his father. How come you want to get stronger, Dad? He asked. You're not getting bullied by your friends. Daisuke was quiet for a few moments before answering. His words came out awkward and embarrassed. I was picked on a lot when I was your age too, Achi. I had a friend who would always come and bail me out. A friend? Yeah, a friend. Edison looked into his father's eyes. He was a real fighter. I always looked up to him. I wanted to be strong like him. His expression turned lonely. I don't get to see him anymore, though. Why not? Achi asked. Did he die? No, nothing like that. Then did you guys have a fight? Something like that? Daisuke smiled sadly. Oh my god. He stared out into the sky for a while before speaking up again. Yeah, I'm assuming that after the thing with Kotone, it's gonna be very hard to meet up with one another again. Jesus. His name's Tateno. My friend, that's his name. Achi's father increased his pace. Come on, we have to go and pick up Suzume. After that, despite Achi's question, Daisuke would say no more about his old friend. Yeah, after literally, causing, being involved in the death of his wife, that's gonna be hard to. By the time he was almost done with grade school, Achi had grown up fit and strong, almost unrecognizable from his younger self. Perhaps he'd had the physical knack in him all along. He was chosen as the representative for the boys' karate team, even managing to take second place in the national tournament. Nobody bullied Achi anymore. One time, Daisuke suggested that the two of them do some sparring. Achi may have been a national competitor, sure, but he was still a grade schooler squaring off against an adult. This is where the problems start. His father had been training for close to 2 years now as well, and his confidence had grown accordingly. Achi was excited to be able to face off against this old man. Early on in their karate training, Achi's kumite had seemed rather hopeless. Blech. He'd been shocked that his out-of-shape father was able to overpower him, but also pleased to get a sense of how strong the man was. This time, Achi thought, he might well lose again, but he was gonna go all out. As they adopted their fighting stances, Daisuke's face was full of confidence. The instructor gave the signal to begin, and Achi opened with a sharp low kick. Daisuke didn't guard against it, the blow caught him in the thigh. It looked to Achi like he'd allowed himself to take the hit, not fearing the effect of a child's kick. Achi proceeded to unleash several more low kicks to the same spot. Bit by bit, Daisuke's face revealed his discomfort. Finally, he yanked his leg away. That was when Achi realized his father wasn't letting himself get hit on purpose. He was just unable to keep up with the speed of his son's footwork. If that was the case, Achi felt bad about exploiting his dad's weakness. He decided to leave his leg alone. Instead, he aimed to punch at his father's midsection. He was shocked by the impact as the blow struck home. He hadn't attacked with a great deal of force. He just thrown a light midsection punch as a check. God damn it, Achi! But as Achi pulled back his fist, Daisuke crumpled to the floor, writhing his pain as he clutched his gut. Achi stared in disbelief at his own hand. That was the last day that Daisuke went to the dojo. Wow. Like, that must have, in a way, been very weird, too. Your dad's pathetic. He's such a loser. Achi was on his way home from practice, and some older students from the dojo had started ripping on him. What did you just say? These kids were middle schoolers, but Achi wasn't about to back down. He thrust out with a quick punch, stopping it just short of one boy's nose. Go on, say that again. I'll kick your ass. The older boys went pale, then took off and ran. But the small victory did nothing to bolster Achi's spirits. His father had looked so small and lonely, heading away after quitting karate. But Achi didn't think there was anything pathetic about that. Sure, maybe by now he was better at karate than his father. But really, what difference did that make? Yeah! You tell them, Achi. Not everyone is meant to be a pro. In growing stronger, he'd learned something. Using force to win out over someone else didn't mean anything. Strength alone didn't determine a person's worth. Achi loved and respected his father for going to the dojo with him. Beating him in a karate match didn't change the way he felt. Aww. Achi resurfaced from his memories to hear Stanley talking on his phone. I see, so that's what's going on. Once we're finished with things in Dongensaka, I'll bring Hitomi right back to the precinct. Curious, Achi turned to the American. Achi resolve! What was that about? What was that about just now? Stanley's reply was clipped. I know what they're after now. With that, Stanley proceeded to wrap up his phone call. Guess I'm not getting much out of this guy, Achi thought. Huh. By now, they could see Endo Electronics up ahead. Achi was about to hurry inside when Stanley stopped them. I'll go in first. You two wait out here. No way! This is my dad we're talking about. You don't think it's dangerous to bring Hitomi right to him? Well, alright. We'll wait here for a bit, and once we know it's safe, we'll head on in. You cool with that? I'm cool with that. Stanley stepped inside. Achi fussed about impatiently, staring at the entryway. The palm of his clenched fist was sweating. Never before in his life had he wanted to just deck his old man. Hitomi watched him uneasily. Hitomi. Yes? I'm sorry. I really don't want you to have to see this. But I think you're about to witness the crowning shame in the Endo family history. Achi, don't say that. Hitomi said. She squeezed his hand. Aww. Aww. Trying to set her fist unclenching. Please, you have to try to talk to your father. Yeah, I know. Aww. Suddenly there was a loud crash from inside the building. The time for waiting had passed. Let's go! We're going! Achin Hitomi raced inside, barging into the living quarters without bothering to shed his shoes. He heard his father's voice coming from the right room. Dad! Achin hurried through the workroom door and saw Stanley holding his father pinned across the desk. Let me go, please let me go. Daisuke freshed both of his legs. Gentle reminder that all that happened so far was basically 7 hours. I know, but it's been a long 7 hours for everyone. Stanley, please let my father go. I want to talk to him. Stanley snorted dismissively, but did as he was asked. Daisuke stood up, rubbing at a sore wrist. Dad, please, you have to tell me. Where's Maria? Maria? What are you talking about? Daisuke wouldn't beat his eyes. Don't play dumb with me. Achi pointed at Hitomi. You know who this is, don't you? Hitomi Ozawa, the girl you've been after. Maria's her sister. But Daisuke remained silent. You're gonna pretend you didn't call the hospital? Nothing about maybe being able to get your hands on a heart? I mean, seriously? It's all so simple. Even I can tell what's been going on, and I'm a fucking dumbass. That's me. That was so long ago, though. That 7 hours was 2 months ago. Wait, has it been that long since we started? Wait, it can't have been that long. You've been watching me and Hitomi through the surveillance cameras. And you were telling that guy with the cane where we were. Blood began to drain from his father's face. Don't you go quiet on me. If I'm wrong, then go ahead and tell me the truth. Daisuke's arm shot out suddenly, knocking an external hard drive from his desk onto the floor. It's over and done before Stanley could stop him. Stanley hunched down and picked up the shattered drive. I'm guessing there was important data on here. Footage from the cameras, maybe. I have no idea what you're talking about, Daisuke spat. You can't do this to an innocent person, Dad! Achi shouted, grabbing his father by the collar. There was the sound of footsteps from outside the shop. Someone was quickly getting closer. Stanley grabbed Hitomi by the hand and pulled her back against the wall. Achi stiffened as he turned his gaze to the door. What? What? Bro! Okay, Kano, what the fuck? Kano, it's your turn now. Yeah, it's not. You started 4 to 8 on the second. Okay, I was like, am I going insane? I know it's been a month or so, but 2 months? No. A gunshot rang out from Tatsuno's gun. But it was a wild shot, fired reflexively at as the weapon flew out of his hand. A figure had leapt from behind the water storage tank, kicking him in the arm that held the gun. Then, moving almost too fast for the eye to track, the newcomer delivered an elbow strike to Tatsuno's jaw. Kano didn't even have the chance to fire his gun. Before he could react, Maria's kidnapper was already laid out of the ground. Without so much as looking back, the girl bolted down the stairs. Maria! Kano shouted. He started to chase after her, but a bright glimmer in the corner of his eye stopped him in his tracks. The strange assailant had drawn a knife and was preparing to slit the unconscious Tatsuno's throat. Kano quickly brought his gun back to bear. Stop right there! The knife stopped, mere millimeters from Tatsuno's neck. Kano was sure that if he hadn't intervened, the detective's throat would have been slit already. The knife wielder pulled back the hood that had been concealing her face. Is this Kanan? I know you. Kano said, shocked to see that he recognized the attacker. Yep. It was a girl who'd been knocked down by the minivan explosion. Why stab me? She asked, her tone ice cold. Weren't you just about to shoot him yourself? I don't have a reason to shoot him anymore. Not now that you've helped Maria escape. Please put the knife away. Very well. Looks like he's not waking up for a while anyway. The girl withdrew the knife and rose to her feet. Why did you come to Maria's rescue? Because she's my friend, the girl said simply. She's been infected with a virus, Kano said. We have to get her to help as soon as possible. He headed for the stairs that Maria had scampered down. Not so fast. Don't move. Kanan! Yeah. I have no idea where they found that gif. Her name is Tigger Williams, but he has just fitting presence. Oh, you mean the actor who plays Kanan? Yeah, she is, like, she's just kind of got that, like, I don't know, it's also in, like, the way, like, her acting, I feel like, brings it out a lot, if you're talking about the actor, yeah. What I like about it is the way that she positions herself. She's sort of the way that, like, at least I'm of course going mostly by pictures because there's not a lot of video of her so far, but it's like she feels deliberately kind of obscured in a lot of the shots she's in. Like, the way that she kind of positions her body is like, she's not like, I don't want to say try to make herself look small, but more like inconspicuous. Like, the way that she moves around is very, like, significant. What for? He demanded. I thought you wanted to help. And she's so hard to read. Yes, like, she really keeps a great poker face. I do want to help her, which is why I'm not letting the police get their hands on her. The girl's voice was quiet, but hard as steel. The police are afraid of the Ua virus spreading, which is why... The police are afraid of the Ua virus spreading, which is why they'll certainly place Maria under quarantine. If that happens, there won't be any way to save her. Just who in the world are you? Before I answer that, let's make a deal. Kano waited non-committal. I have information relevant to this case, the girl continued. I want to make an exchange. Kano swallowed the lump in his throat. Kano, where's your face mask? Shaking my head. I know, right? In exchange for what? Tell me where Hitomi Osawa is. Hitomi Osawa? Stanley had taken Hitomi into custody. Kano could probably get in touch and ask him where she was, but... What do you want to know where Hitomi is? Do we have a deal or not? The girl looked like she was in no mood to argue. Still, if she knew about the Ua virus, she was probably telling the truth about having information. But it was a violation of police policy to leak information on any investigation to a third party. Besides, was it wise to trust this young woman without knowing who she was? Kind of weighed his options for a moment before replying. You know what? I'm gonna take a risk and tell her. Alright, I'll tell you, Kano agreed. The girl gave a tiny nod. But first, what's your name? Kanan. Kanan. Kano thought back to the grisly scene at the Foreign Syndicate's hideout. Did she do that? He was almost afraid to wonder. There's still a lingering trace of adolescence in the strange girl's face. It was hard to believe someone so young could be a covert Middle Eastern operative. Like, I feel like when they were doing, like, I can't help but think that when they were doing auditions, they typecast this girl on the spot, like, if she came to the auditions, because, like, if I were to look at, like, you have basically the characteristic how you're looking for is someone who looks young, but can still, like, pull off that sort of, like, hardened by time look, and it's just, she's just a very, I don't know, it might just be her skills as an actor overall, but she just pulls it off so well. Like, I'm really impressed. And Kano had seen how quickly she'd been able to render Tatsudo unconscious. Alright then. Guess I'll go first, Kanan began. There's someone out there trying to get their hands on the antiviral drug. My objective is to eliminate this person and put a stop to their plan. Kano felt neither surprise nor horror at the use of the term eliminate. After all that had happened today, he realized his sensibilities had gone numb. This person you're after. You're talking about an arms dealer named Alfred, aren't you? Kanan nodded. The Ua virus has been weaponized and tested several times on the battlefield to great effect, she said. The antiviral would render this weapon wholly ineffective. Countries the world over are dying to get their hands on it. Then why did Alfred orchestrate this kidnapping? If the goal is to get the antiviral, why not just steal it from the laboratory? There's a lot about this kidnapping case that still didn't add up. Kano was sure Alfred's plan was hidden in those baffling details. Lab security at Koshi Pharmaceutical is practically perfect. The place is under surveillance 24 hours a day, and getting to where the antiviral is stored requires bypassing 3 sophisticated electronic locks. Getting the antiviral out is impossible. Unexpectedly, a sly grin appeared on Kanan's face. If you were Alfred, how would you steal it? She asked. Huh? Kano was taken aback by the sudden question. Get someone else to take it out. He thought good and hard about how to answer. Yeah, Osawa heads up the lab. Wouldn't he be able to get it out? Osawa heads up the lab. Wouldn't he be able to get it out?
No. Accessing the storage facility requires the authentication of both Kenji Osawa and Mamoru Tanaka. It's impossible even for one of them to gain entry alone.
That's right. Stanley had mentioned the same thing.
The lab security also performs a thorough body search at the building's exit. This ensures that employees can't sneak materials out on their way home from work.
The level of security was perhaps understandable. Kind of trying to figure out other ways to gain access to the drug. Ah, yeah, sneak something in.
6 days ago, Alfred injected Hitomi Osawa with the Ua virus.
What? The tale had taken a sudden and very unexpected turn. So it wasn't only Maria who'd been infected, but Hitomi as well. And 6 days ago at that. Wait, hold on. Hitomi Osawa was perfectly healthy earlier today. So that must mean...
Exactly. Kenji Osawa administered the antiviral to her.
An unsettling thought occurred to Kano. It was supposedly impossible for Osawa to access the antiviral all by himself, but if he'd been able to give it to his daughter all the same, then that had to mean...
He needed Mamoru Tanaka's help to do it, of course, Kanan said. Which is why Alfred bribed Tanaka ahead of time.
So that's what happened. Ah, okay, that explains a lot! Tanaka had been paid off to inject Hitomi about the virus. Getting Osawa to take action at that point wouldn't have been difficult. But why did it go to such lengths to get the antiviral administered to Hitomi? Why would Alfred have Hitomi infected with the virus, only then to have her father cure it?
It's been roughly a week since she was given the antiviral. The DDS is still in her body.
The what?
Essentially, taking blood from Hitomi Osawa now would allow someone to extract minuscule amounts of the antiviral.
And then you can reverse engineer it. Kano was stunned. Suddenly all these seemingly unrelated threats were beginning to form a pattern. So, since getting the antiviral itself out from the lab wasn't an option, Alfred must have thought of using a human vessel, he murmured. Which means the thing that Alfred's really after is... Kano nodded.
Yes, Hitomi's blood,
He finished.
Alfred specifically requested that Hitomi make the ransom handoff,
Kanan said.
Additionally, the crime syndicate was hired to carry out a relay with the attaché case containing the ransom money. This would disrupt the investigation and distract the police, allowing the kidnappers to target Hitomi in secret.
Wait, no, hold on. There's something about the story that still made no sense to Kano. Tell me this, he said to Kanan. Yeah, I want to say, why not just kidnap Hitomi in the first place? I'm still not sure about that, you know? I don't know. Why not just kidnap Hitomi in the first place? That was the key question right there. Why kidnap Maria instead? If Alfred wanted Hitomi's blood, abducting her, not her sister, was the obvious move. But the kidnappers... No, I don't think. Surely they couldn't have been so foolish as to abduct the wrong target, so kidnapping Maria must have been intentional. But it didn't add up. No matter how he looked at it, Kano couldn't see any reason to kidnap Hitomi's sister.
It's my fault that Maria was kidnapped.
Kano looked away.
I contacted her before this all started. I told her about the kidnapping plan, and I gave her a GPS beacon to give to her sister so that I could track Hitomi's location after she was abducted. But my plan backfired. Maria switched places with Hitomi and let herself get taken by Alfred.
What the hell? Why hadn't Maria taken this out to the police? Or if she was so determined to protect her sister, why not just get her to leave town or something like that?
There must have been some sort of accident, though,
Kanan continued.
The GPS was never turned on after the kidnapping and I wasn't able to track Maria down. But there was something that even Alfred hadn't counted on.
Kanan cast a glance over at Tatsuno.
This person right here, she said.
So Tatsuno had disrupted Alfred's plan by going after Hitomi himself. Yeah, okay. Unrelated.
Considering where it's all led,
Kanan continued.
Alfred must be panicking about now. But we can't let down our guard. Even now, I'm sure the mastermind is thinking of some way to fit what this man has done into the master plan.
It's a perfectly imperfect plan, is that what you're saying?
Precisely.
Kanan flashed Kano an approving grin. I heard that from Stanley, Kano said. The man who drove you to the hospital earlier.
A case officer, huh?
Case officer? That was it. Then it was CIA. The US Embassy in Akasaka functions as the headquarters for the CIA's Japan branch. As the embassy building is not reliably secure, however, the agency carries out many of its activities in specially constructed embassy annex facilities, often under the guise of cultural exchange organizations. There are reportedly over 100 CIA personnel active in Japan, but given the inherent secrecy involved, the exact numbers are not officially known. Now that I kind of thought about it, it all made sense. Since Alfred is an arms dealer with worldwide connections. Since Alfred is an arms dealer with worldwide connections, I don't know what nation might be trying to obtain the antiviral. Obviously, any country that has the viral weapon would want to prevent their enemies from obtaining it. It's no huge surprise that people are butting in trying to put a stop to Alfred's plan. A tiny beeping sound caught Kano's attention. Kana pulled a PDA from her breast pocket. Personal Digital Assistant refers to various types of small portable devices for information management. Occasionally also referred to as a handheld PC. That's funny. Yeah, it does say that on the top corner. Pocket PC. Interesting. Interesting. The GPS that I gave to Maria has just been powered on. Now I can find her location. Where's she? She's on the move. But why is the GPS suddenly active now? Kanon frowned. At any rate, I've told you what I know. Now tell me where he told me is. Alright. Personal Digital Eyeball! Kanon got out his phone and called Stanley. And this is the call Stanley got. In Achi's route, I'm assuming. The American was quick to pick up. What's going on? Where's he told me? We're on our way to Endo Electronics in Dogensaka. Endo Electronics? Why are you going there? Ken was familiar with the dilapidated old storefront. He'd passed by the place countless times. Too long of a story. Just a lot has happened, Stanley replied. Everything's on your end. About as bad as they could be, but I'm getting closer to the truth. Please make sure you keep Hitomi safe. Alfred is after her blood. The blood? Ken told Stanley what he'd heard from Kanan. I see. So that's what's going on. Once we're finished with things in Dogensaka, I'll bring Hitomi right back to the precinct. Where is she? Kanan asked as soon as Kano had hung up. She's on her way to an electronics store in Dogensaka. I see. Kanan checked Maria's location on her PDA. First, I need to get Maria, she said. I'll get to Hitomi after that. I'm going with you. Be my guest. With that, Kanan was off and running. Kano took one last glance at the unconscious Tetsuno and hurried after the Kanan as fast as he could. It's fine! He'll be fine. Don't worry about it. He's bounced back from a lot of shit. I think he'll be fine. They ran from South Hill and Nampedai towards Shibuya Station. As they dotted and weaved madly through the narrow side streets, Kanan took an occasional glimpse on her PDA. It felt to Kanan like they must be taking the shortest possible route to Maria's location. He stayed quiet, keeping pace as Kanan led the way. Before he knew it, they were heading up Dogensaka. In not too long, they'd be at an electronics. Hey! Kano called out to Kanan. What? She shouted back without it. What? She shouted back. Are you sure this is the right area? Are you doubting the GPS? No, it's not that. Kano scanned the area. It's just that Endo Electronics is right up ahead. What? Kanan stopped abruptly. What are you suggesting? That since they're heading to the same location, this is my guess. So what did that actually mean? I know, right? What the hell? Kano hadn't figured that out yet. They took off running again, but before long, Endo Electronics came into view. Kanan stopped in front of the shop door. Right here, she said, glancing again at her GPS. I knew it, Kano thought. Endo Electronics, the same place he told me was headed. Guess we're all winding up together, Kanan said. Once we've been brought together. She peered keenly at the building and its surroundings. Kano swallowed hard. We? You think you've been roped into this too? Quite possibly. Kanan flashed a winning smile and started to head into the shop. Hold on, I need to report into HQ. Kano hurriedly called Kusei on his cell. Bro! Kano, what's going on? I've located Maria Osawa. Huh? What's that? Because his words came out as a surpriseless, childish yelp. Come on. Kanan smiled, turning to steal a glare. Time is critical. He nodded silently back on her. Kanan, what's the location? Kusei asked. Where are you? I can't say right now, sir. Please just leave this to me. Hey! Now just hold up! But Kano ignored the director, squawking, and hung up. No! Kusei! No! Kanan had already entered the shop. She seemed wholly unconcerned by the idea that she might be playing right into Alfred's hands. Despite her youth, she clearly thought of herself as quite capable. Rarely he followed in after her. After navigating a veritable cavern of junk, they came to a door that led to the living area beyond. Hanan quietly opened the door and immediately stepped inside. The home was divided into a dwelling area and a workroom. A man's voice could be heard from the workroom, raised in anger. Don't you want to save Suzume? Kano and Kanan crept closer. Came through the next doorway, they saw a tense confrontation in progress. Muddy and Stanley were standing there. Looking down at a middle-aged man who had restrained Hitomi with a stun gun pressed to her throat. Dad, of course I want to help Suzume. A young man stepped into view, speaking to the older fellow. But do you think this is what she'd want you to do? Kano watched intently, tensing for action. There's so much at risk here. He's about to barge into the workroom when Kanan grabbed him by the shoulder. Let's wait and see how this goes first, she whispered. He realized this was good advice. He realized that he was being a dumb. If they provoked the older man, things could very well take a sharp turn for the worse. They just have to hope that the young man could talk him down. That's the jump point to Achi. Okay. Okay. I guess I should have just... Wait, I can't? Bitch! Wait. 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 Wait, no, I'm... Wait. 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 I don't actually know what I'm supposed to do right now. Wait. This one is a keep out, this one is a keep out. I can't jump here. No! I want you to help! Wait, what am I gonna do? Wait, I don't actually know what I'm supposed to do here. There should be a jump somewhere, but... No jump here. The jump here doesn't work, yeah. We already used this jump. There was nothing else in Osawa's, it was just... I don't actually know what to do. Oh my god. I'm genuinely lost. What the hell? Wait, can I... No. Ah, I don't know what to do! Ah! See, even if I try to do this, I can't do it. I'm 100% sure it won't let me do it. Like, it won't let me do it. Like, see, I'm just gonna check it. Doo-doo! Nope. I should go and change all my goddamn choices. I don't know. Okay, well, I think we should do that after the break, because I just ran out of my drink, and it's good to be hydrated. And then I will do that once I get back! I will be right back. Thank you for the help, Argo. We'll be back in a few moments. See you soon!
Hello, this is Mina back again to change the timeline. Hello. I'm back. Wait, come on. Come on, game. Let me F2. Thank you. Okay, so Minorikawa. Plus one. Common name. I don't know, Endo? Mina, the timeline coordinator. That's my second title. I don't know. Okay, then Endo first choice. Is that correct? I mean, right now right now the streams are focused on sort of completing one each day. So yes, I do want to know. Yes, okay, that's correct. Thank you. We're gonna wrap up all of the other stuff later. Ah! Yeah, I figured that it might have been something like that. I got it. Good one. Yeah. I was thinking about that, whether it was a jump point or not. The workroom door slowly eased open. It was Maria, huh? Oh, she would have been the first one there. Ah, she was too shocked for words. The girl who entered looked just like Hitomi. Maria! Tell me! She blinked in bewilderment. It was almost as if Hitomi were standing in front of a mirror. The two girls looked so similar. Maria. Maria, thank goodness you're alright. I'm so sorry I had you worried. Maria was safe, Achi realized. At last, he'd managed to fulfill his duty. You... Oh, it's you. How did you manage to get out of the storeroom? Daisuke had gone pale. Tell me, Maria said sharply. Who was it who came up with this kidnapping plan? Suddenly, Daisuke shoved Maria inside and lurched for Hitomi. Stanley moved to stop him, but before he could intervene, the older man had a hold on Hitomi, placing something that looked like a flashlight against her neck. Dad? Achi started toward him, but Stanley held up a hand. Don't move, that's a stun gun. A piece of self-defense equipment for repelling would-be attackers with an electrical shock. There are several types, including baton-type stun prods and guns that fire needles attached to flexible wires. The latter type especially is frequently referred to in the US as a taser or taser gun due to the popular models produced by Taser International, now Axon. Stun guns are used not only by civilians but also by law enforcement and military personnel for non-lethal applications. Huh. Wait, they're both in the same room? Is this real? I know, right? You just have to turn the naked killer. You know your stuff, Daisuke said. You deal in American electronics? No, I do this for a living. Stanley drew his gun in an instant, taking aim at Daisuke's forehead. Probably not a good idea to step in here. Achi was too shocked to even move. Stanley took another step toward Daisuke, keeping his gun trained on the other man. Hey, stop this! Please just stop! Snapping out of his daze, Achi scampered between the two men. Stanley didn't lower his gun, but unless he shoved Achi aside, he couldn't get a clear shot at Achi's dad. Achi turned to face his father. Dad, let Hitomi go. You need to stop this nonsense. Achi walked slowly toward his father, a pleading look in his eyes. Nonsense? Which one of us is talking nonsense here? You don't know what's going on. If you knew everything, then you'd be helping me. What do you mean, everything? This girl's heart. We can save Sutsune. Dad, who was it exactly that told you that? Daisuke did not reply. I asked you a question! Who was it that put this crazy idea into your head? Pleat squish! Why is Argo pleat squishing? Are you pleat squishing? Why are you pleat squishing? You having a good day? I love pleat squish. Pleat squish is great. Achi pleated. Oh, I see. Achi used pleat squish. It wasn't very effective. A foreign organ trafficker I met at the hospital, Daisuke muttered. In Japan, a medical professional known as a transplant coordinator handles the liaison between the donor and recipient parties, but there are many cases of illegal or borderline illegal activity carried out by third-party organ brokers. There are countries where organ transplants are openly performed for monetary gain and no shortage of specialists willing to do the job.
These questionable markets include suppliers who source viable organs and tissue for transplant from cadavers. Stanley let out a snort. A likely story. It's true. I was suspicious at first myself, Daisuke said stubbornly. But I couldn't just sit around and wait for Susanoo to die. And after talking to him about her rare blood type and all the difficulties in performing a transplant, he promised he'd do everything in his power. Daisuke's hands were trembling. Tears welled up in his vacant and bloodshot eyes. Breathe, say foolish! All these dramatics happening while Maria's over here wearing a shirt that uses the bottom text meme font. Oh my god. Six, if you ever get around to watching our Lost Judgment streams, there's gonna be a guy with the most, like, a graphic design is my passion level shirt on the planet. Like, and if not, just play Judgment yourself and play, like, the main side stories and you'll see him, but he's great. And that t-shirt is fantastic. Then a while later, he got back in touch and told me he'd found a potential match. Someone with the same blood type as Susanoo and roughly the same age. But then he told me that girl was still alive. And so what was the point? Her heart might be a match for Susanoo's, but it didn't matter if we couldn't get our hands on it. And I said that, but then the man told me. He told you what? Achi bit his lip. He told me to abduct her and turn her over to him. After that, he'd find a way to make it all work. Lol, keep that in mind. Yeah, it's great. Just if you like that sort of humor, I think Yakuza Line games are gonna be for you. 100%. You do realize that he was gonna kill her. At last Daisuke had confessed. Now Achi had to try and come to grips with the truth he just heard. I had to do something, his father continued vehemently. If I had to abduct this girl and see things through. I just couldn't take it. Kotsune had already been taken from me. The thought of losing Susanoo too. I had to make sure I didn't fail. So it was this organ trafficker who came up with the kidnapping scheme then, Stanley said. Oh, it's Stanley. He kept his gun aimed at his target. Daisuke nodded. Describe him for me. He was tall, had black hair. Spoke fluent Japanese. Stanley raised an eyebrow at that. Achi wondered if he'd some idea who it might be. Huh. And taking Maria's Osawa hostage in order to lure her, he told me that was his idea as well. Yes, that's right. I allowed his computer to access my surveillance camera system as well. But then, this morning, I got a call from the hospital saying Susanoo's condition was critical. I couldn't wait any longer. I had to help my girl right away. And then... Daisuke cut himself off, reaffirming his grip on his stun gun. I was looking at the surveillance monitor and I saw a detective I happened to know. He was right next to this girl here. So I decided to ask him. I knew if I did, he wouldn't refuse. He could never refuse a request from me. That was the man with the cane? Achi asked. His voice was low and hoarse. Yes, I was giving him directions while I followed you on the monitors. Dad, you need to let go if you told me now. There's no point to this. Achi took another step closer to his father. There is a point! If I kill this girl here and now, your sister can get the surgery she needs. But even Achi knew that things couldn't possibly work out that way. His father had grown so desperate to help Susanoo that he's lost all sense of judgment. Why, Achi? Why won't you help me? Don't you want to save Susanoo? Daisuke made a pathetic sight. Yet his desperation to save his child was so palpable it was heartrending. Achi thought back to that time he'd laid his father out when sparring. No matter how pathetic he may have looked, Achi had always felt that sense of paternal love from him. You're not gonna be able to talk him down, Stanley murmured. Achi shook his head. Stanley, he said, lower your gun. Tears were welling up in his eyes. Please. Lower your gun. Hearing the determination in Achi's voice, Stanley quietly complied. Achi stepped up to Daisuke, getting a firm grip on his father's slender shoulder. Dad. Of course I want to help Susanoo. Then why are you trying to stop me? Dad, do you think this is what she'd want you to do? Cry the track, cry, alright. Yeah, so, does she want you to kill someone? Daisuke's face fell. Did Susanoo ask for this, Dad? Did she tell you to take someone else's heart so that she could live longer? Did she, Dad? Suddenly the fight seemed to ebb from Daisuke's body. The stun gun hung limply in his hand. Yeah, I feel like Achi's story is gonna end here. If Susanna asked me to go and get someone's heart for her, I wouldn't object. I'd help her just like she wanted. I wouldn't let you bear those crimes by yourself. But that's not what this is it? Susanna would never ask us to do something like this, would she? Cause she's a good girl! By now tears are streaming down Achi's cheeks. Oh, he's such a good boy. I just want to give him a hug. He knew that his father thought about Susanna more than he thought of anyone else. And so he should know full well that she would never want this. Susanna's not like me. She's smart, she's kind, and she'd never be happy about taking someone else's heart. Even if it saved her life, I'm sure she'd never accept that. She wouldn't be able to live with it, knowing something so horrible had happened to someone else for her sake. Isn't that the Susanna we know? Not any Hitomi, actually. It's same. Daisuke's cheeks are smeared with tears now as well. Aww. But then we're not gonna be able to help her. The sound of fathers and weeping echoed through the workroom. Maybe so. Maybe we won't. That's better than the misery and suffering she'd have to live with. Help me. Why do I have to live with this shit? I hate it. I'm genuinely crying. I'm gonna take a drink and get over this. I'm gonna get crunk. Not a drill, Mina's crying again. God damn it. I don't even have any tissues. My life is ruined. I hate this music. It's good. It's good, but it's killing me. Like it's good, but it's not. I hate this so much. How dare they? Disgusting. Daisuke slumped to his knees on the floor, collapsing like a crumbling mound of sand. Tomi, freed from his grip, stood motionless. There were tears in her eyes, too. You're such an idiot, Dad. Such a complete, utter idiot. Sobbing, Achi embraced his father. Oh! Stanley, are you crying too? Stanley is definitely crying. His glasses just mask it. There's no way, there's no way our boy not cry. There was a sudden thud from near the door. Everyone turned to look. Fuck! She's going symptomatic! Fuck! Fuck. Maria had crumbled to the floor, and a newcomer had appeared. Or did she knock her out? Please tell me she knocked her out. At some point, Kanon had silently entered the room. Now she cradled Maria in her arms. Standing in the doorway was a man Achi didn't recognize, his face pale. Stay back! Stay back! Kanon shouted at Achi when he tried to approach. Has she gone symptomatic? It looked like Maria had fallen unconscious. Achi's heart was racing in his chest. An eerie silence fell over the room. For several seconds, no one said a word, their eyes all fixed on Maria. She's gone symptomatic. Fuck. Fuck. Finally, Kanon looked up, her face ashen. It's too late. It's starting. Fuck! Fuck! No! No! Oh my god. Well. Yikes. Okay! Achi's story did not end here. That's surprising. It very much felt like it would, but it did not. Okay. Mina got symptoms now too. Yeah, symptoms of big Mina cry. Okay, what are you doing, Kano? Kano, my dude, Rooney. After the young man's desperate pleading, the other fellow, apparently his father, finally gave in. Nope, it did not, but there's a lot of connections now between protags. I can't believe Kano and Achi are reunited after the beginning. Right! I never realized! That's actually the last time they saw each other is when he went to be silly with Hitomi, right? He released his hold on Hitomi. The tension in the room was replaced by a solemn air of gravitas. Seeing father and son weeping as they spoke made Kano think back to his conversation with Tatsuno before the stakeout. What was it in people that drove them to do such horrible things? Sometimes it was the desire to save the ones they loved. Even such a heartfelt human emotion could drive someone to wrongdoing. Why? Why do people have to be like that? A sudden thought snapped Kano out of his musing. An instant later, Kanan hurried past him into the workroom. Fuck! It's too late! Maria had collapsed on the floor, and now Kanan was beside her. In a panic, Kano rushed to the workroom as well. Stay back! Kanan shouted at the others and tried to huddle around the fallen girl. Don't be what I think this is! The virus gone symptomatic? 2 hours ago, Stanley had told Kano that Maria was infected. He'd also said that her symptoms wouldn't develop for another 4 hours. Shouldn't they still have 2 more hours to go? Maria looked like she was dead. Her eyes closed, her body motionless. Hitomi tried to approach despite Kanan's warning. Maria! She cried. Maria, what's wrong? Kano held his arms wide to hold her back. Your sister's been infected with the UA virus. The UA virus? Hitomi's face went pale. Hey, Kano said to Kanan. Should you really be that close? If she's developed symptoms. But Kanan didn't move from Maria's side. She calmly rested her hand on the other girl's forehead. There's no fever, she said. And there's no blood coming from her ears, no lymph swelling. It'll be alright. She hasn't gone symptomatic yet. In that case, why did she collapse? Hitomi asked. I'm not sure yet. Whatever the case. If we don't get her that antiviral, she's done for. Then we have to get her to the lab right away, Hitomi said. She was trembling with anxiety. No, that's not an option. That's not an option, Kano's tone was grave. You may already be aware, Miss Osawa, but without a password, we can't access the antiviral storage. But when I went there, my father and Mr. Tanaka... Mamoru Tanaka's dead. Wait, she doesn't know! Wait! She doesn't know! I forgot! Oh god! Oh my god. Mamoru Tanaka's dead. Murdered. What? She stared at him uncomprehendingly. No! No, that can't be true. He was a member of a crime syndicate. It's possible they killed him in order to silence him. So then, there's no way to save my sister? There's a hollow look in Hitomi's eyes. I won't accept that. Why? Why can't we help her? But no one had an answer. Kano gritted his teeth and hung his head. Why did it have to come to this? He'd come this far, but there was nothing he could do, and he hated himself for that. Oh my god, she didn't know. I'll go to the laboratory. It was Kanan. Electronic lock breaking is my specialty. Wait, the young man actually spoke up suddenly. So you're a martial arts badass, but your specialty's lock breaking? That's funny. He looked positively dumbstruck. Kanan ignored him, thinking out loud. Brute force, side channel, shortcut. Given the situation, I think I have to go with side channel. Brute force. A cryptanalysis technique that involves test input of all theoretically possible patterns. If time were unlimited, this would be the most reliable means of decipherment. However, in practice, the process takes massive amounts of time and computational power, and can be defeated by systems that prohibit access after a limited number of failed input attempts. True. Rather than trying to decipher the password itself, this method involves analyzing information from the device, such as processing time, power consumption, and electromagnetic leads, and using these details to exploit the system. Isolating the run state of the device is a crucial element of countering side channel attacks. Huh. Oh, so like trying to get in through... Okay, I kind of get it. Shortcut. A cryptanalysis method that uses mathematical algorithms to carry out efficient bulk calculations against a block cipher that makes use of a shared key for encryption and decryption. Even when such calculations are theoretically possible, however, in practice the process requires large amounts of time and the block cipher is seldom at real risk. Yeah. Side channel, Stanley asked. Where's your equipment? One of the lab PCs will suffice. I can connect to a special server from the net. I don't really understand the stuff you're talking about, as she said, but I'll trust you to handle this. I mean, you did risk your life to save Hitomi from that minivan explosion and all. Kanan nodded. I have to warn you in advance, though. Cryptanalysis can take hours and still yield no results. I can't guarantee I'll be able to get the doors unlocked before Maria develops symptoms. I understand, Hitomi said. Achi nodded too. No one present had any objections. Wait, all of a sudden there was a curious sound from somewhere in the room. What's that? Kano asked. What's making that noise? He looked around the workroom. That's my computer. Daisuke hurried to his desktop. The bank of monitors which has been displaying surveillance camera footage from around Shibuya had all gone black. What the hell? What's going on, Dad? Achi joined his father, staring at the computer screens. It's all gone. The camera footage. It's been deleted. Daisuke blinked in disbelief. Now then, seems our main cast has all been assembled. A man's voice, distorted by a voice modulator, suddenly emerged from the computer speakers. Alfred! How dare you? I'm gonna call you Alfred from now on. How'd you like that, bitch? I'm sorry, that wasn't funny. Alfred, more like Alfred. No, wait, no, you don't. You actually don't deserve that name. Fuck you. Never mind. A man's voice, distorted by a voice modulator, came from the computer speakers. Are we the main actors? Cool! A moment later, the monitors all began to display a view of the inside of the workroom. Alfredo! Yeah. Dad, what the hell is this? Someone's broken through a firewall. They've hijacked the surveillance camera system. A security system for preventing unauthorized intrusion into a computer network. The term stems from a metaphorical reapplication of the concept of a wall meant to inhibit the spread of fire or other destructive forces. The color drained from Daisuke's face as he looked at the screens. Where are they filming from? Kano asked, scanning the inside of the room. He used the image on the monitors to guess where the camera might be located. Over here? The lens of a camera set atop the computer monitor glimmered like an eye. It's a miniature camera, used for web conferencing and the like. Now that Maria and Hitomi are both here, you have probably surmised the situation at hand, and so I offer a proposal. A laboratory password in exchange for Hitomi's blood. Realizing now that it was Alfred's voice they were hearing, everyone in the room froze. At 7 o'clock, roughly 1 hour from now. See that Hitomi Osawa was waiting at the Scramble intersection outside Shibuya Station, just like this morning. Unless, of course, you're feeling particularly confident. You do have Kanan with you. Perhaps you'd care to take a gamble on her lock-breaking skills instead. Kanan clucked her tongue in frustration. Alfred had known exactly what the plan was. Damn it! Of course, if Kanan isn't able to get the door open in time, what will you do then? Maria is sure to die, yes? But that's not all. If you don't agree to my offer, I have the means of creating another Maria and a third. These infectees will spread the virus through Tokyo. The death toll would likely number into hundreds of thousands. But it's a fun shot. Have the Hitomi, Achi, and Kano and Stanley in pairs, like the stories you did? Yeah, it's so much fun. It is difficult to predict the scope of infection in the event of a bioterrorist attack employing a highly infectious viral agent in a city with a large and mobile population. In a worst-case scenario, some researchers estimate as many as several million infected in a matter of days. So do think carefully before you decide. Alpha's voice was chillingly matter-of-fact. I'll appear at the rendezvous in person. After all, it wouldn't do for the star of the show to miss the final curtain. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you then. Silence fell. Then the images on the computer monitor returned to normal. The surveillance camera footage came back online as well. Daisuke promptly yanked out his Ethernet cable and slammed his fist on the keyboard. Damn it! There's a hole in the firewall. I'll have to redo my security from the ground up. We wouldn't know anything about that. Anyway. Good call, Kanan said calmly. We can't win this if our intel keeps getting leaked. Stanley pursed his lips in consternation. What do we do? What do we do? Kanan asked him. Did we give in to his demands? See, this is a very much looking up at your BF be like kind of screen cap. I'm sorry. I mean, do we really expect he's just gonna blithely show up like that? He's practically begging for us to come and catch him. There had to be some deeper plan at work. If it means saving my sister, I'll do it. He told me it was resolute. No, Stanley said. You can't. What? Why not? Because if you do, you'll be killed. What? Hitomi's voice caught in her throat. With the antiviral still present in your body a week after the fact, you're too much of a liability for Alfred to just let go. He's right, don't do it, Achi exclaimed. He told me you can't go. Even still, I want to do it. Hitomi stared defiantly at Stanley. You still want to go even knowing that you'll be killed? I can't just sit here and hope that Kanan is able to pull this off, she said. I want to do something for my sister. I want to save her. She peered down at Maria, sprawled on the floor. She'd object to me going, I'm sure of that. But I want to do what I can. To do things my way. No one tried to contradict her this time. if she's willing to take the risk, then there are things the rest of you can do too.
And there are things the rest of you can do too.
There was Kanan again. Let's hear it, Kanan replied. He squared his shoulders. He was of the same mind as Hitomi. He couldn't just do nothing and leave it all to Kanan. After everything he'd been through, he wanted to stick with his case until the very end.
Apprehend Alfred at the rendezvous and demand the password from him.
Kanan offered the suggestion as if it were a simple task. My sister collapsed to make sure we don't have awkward scenes where I talk to myself!
At least you get what you want without putting Hitomi in danger.
Kanan let out a sigh. Hold on, he said. Even if we do arrest him, how are we gonna get him to cough out the password? We don't have time to drag him off to an interrogation room. And besides, he doesn't strike me as the sort to offer confession that easily.
There are ways,
Kanan said.
Once Alfred has made contact with Hitomi, call my cell phone.
Hitomi tilted her head.
Call you? I have plenty of information Alfred might want to bargain for. I can negotiate with him directly.
Kanan considered Kanan's proposal. I see. So we'll try both options. Attempt to hack the password of the lab and also try negotiating with Alfred. That gives us 2 chances. With a tiny ray of hope, Hitomi's face brightened some.
We'll split into 2 groups, one for the lab and one for Shibuya Station, Kanan said. Let's exchange phone numbers so we can be in touch when the time comes.
The group quickly shared contact info as suggested. Hitomi and Kanan called one another's phones to be sure. Hitomi's cheerful ringtone felt out of place, but also somehow soothing, a fragment of normalcy in the midst of a crisis.
Well, guess we're all set then,
Hitomi said, looking down at the LCD screen. Her expression turned apologetic.
I'm sorry, Kanan, for having to keep putting things on you.
Hey, Kanan replied. Don't worry about it.
Okay, now I guess I should call my father.
Hitomi called Kenji Osawa! There it is, on his cell, asking him to let Maria and Kanan into the lab. Kanan leaned in to whisper into Kanan's ear. Yeah, it's best to have Maria go that way. Are you sure you're okay with this?
With what?
I know that you're after Alfred. Are you sure you want to go to the lab and not...
Right now I want to save Maria. That's all.
Someone was as curt and mechanical as ever, but there was a fierce gleam of determination in her eyes. What if the password is cough, though? Will it work then? Maria was clearly someone very special to her. Alright, Kano replied. Leave Alfred to me. He found himself on the chest. He'd succeed this time, no matter what the odds. Kano could scarcely recall the whirlwind of events that had brought him here. He somehow survived a dozen disasters. Even now, a dear friend was in the hospital, at risk of dying. There were times when he'd been ready to give up, and yet at the end of it all, here he was. His opponent was an international terrorist. No matter how you looked at it, that wasn't a matchup for a mere detective. But I'm gonna do it anyway! Rumi, Shizuo, Sasayama, and Detective Tatsuno. I'm gonna take down Alfred and save Maria Osawa's life. Just you watch and see. Just you watch! Me! Right. Man, Osawa is gonna be so fucking confused. I guess we're gonna get Achi last? Probably. To be continued. I know, right? No, Achi did fit. I'm sorry, I'm confused. I think. Tanaka hadn't given Ai his password. Osawa's last chance had gone up in smoke. He let out a long, shaky breath and shut his eyes tight. Was it true? Was there nothing more he could do? Osawa's cell phone rang. When he saw the name on the incoming call display, he nearly shouted out loud. It was Hitomi. Hitomi? Are you alright? Please tell me you're alright.
Yeah, I'm fine, but Maria's...
Maria? Is Maria there with you? Osawa's heart leaped.
Dad, there isn't any time for me to explain everything, so I'll have to just give you the main points. This is so we can save my sister, so just stay calm and listen.
Osawa struggled to hold back the 1,000 questions that immediately came boiling into his mind.
There's a girl named Kanan who's gonna bring Maria to the lab. She's gonna try to hack the password in order to get us inside.
Wait, hold on! What in the world is going on?
There are a bunch of people here working to help save Maria. Can you wait for us at the lab, Dad?
I'm not sure that electronic lock is something that'll be easy to...
We've got another plan in motion too, and if that goes well, we might be able to learn the password.
It's all too much to follow, but Osawa realized he'd have to take Hitomi at her word. It's their only hope of saving Maria. Alright, he said. Not just you ask, but you said you're trying to approach us. You're not gonna be in danger, are you?
No, I'll be fine. Don't worry about me.
Okay, very well. I'm heading to the laboratory now.
You can't. You can't go.
The moment Osawa hung up and started for the house, I clung to him from behind.
If you use the antiviral now,
She said,
everything will go public.
there's no way we can keep the virus or the antiviral under wraps at this point. Osawa tried to pull free, but his wife was stronger than he expected. Besides, if Maria infects other people, the whole world is gonna find out in a matter of hours.
No, we can just quarantine her. If it's handled correctly, we'll still be able to retain secrecy.
His voice was cold as ice. Do you even have any idea what you're saying right now?
I do. I know how it sounds. This is the only thing I can...
Her voice trailed off. He could feel the force of her trembling where she held him. Did I really put you into that much of a corner? Osawa slipped from I's arm and prostrated himself on the ground in front of her. I'm sorry. I'm truly, truly sorry.
Oh, stop this, get up! If you're really sorry, then don't go to that lab.
But Osawa remained silent, his forehead pressed to the dirt.
If you use that antiviral without corporate approval, your time with the Koshi is finished.
That doesn't matter to me anymore.
How can you say that? Virology is the only thing you've ever cared about.
I began pummeling his back. Maybe virology is all that I care about. I don't know the first thing about anything else. I never wanted to know. Never even fought to find out. Never bothered to learn what you or my own children might think. I'm a failure, as a father and as a husband.
How dare you say that only after it's come to this?
I struck him again harder than before. You're right, he guessed out the words between her blows. Maybe this has been too long coming, but it's not too late. I can still start over.
Start over?
She paused in disbelief.
You already turned down that American job. If you use that antiviral now, there won't be any starting over. You'll lose everything.
Will I lose you too?
After you've gone and thrown everything else away like this, how could I possibly stay with you?
I was sobbing softly now. So I wondered what her tears were for. But there's one thing he did know. She was right. They couldn't be together anymore. He got to his feet and headed back to the house, leaving I behind. He hurried through the back entrance and went into the garage. Climbed into his car, fastened his seatbelt, and took a deep breath. The image of a young girl Maria arose in the back of his mind. There she was at that park, getting drenched by the rain, holding back her tears as she waited for her father. Wait for me, Maria. This time, I'm gonna come for you. I was wrong. Going to the lab wouldn't mean losing everything. He'd let too many important things slip through his fingers. Now it was time to go take them back. Yeah! Osawa pulled his car onto the street and sped toward the laboratory. I fucking love this guy. As if to signal that the long day was drawing to a close. Dazzling sun sank down between the buildings in the distance. Man. Osawa's ending, that makes sense. I understand. And... we did it! Wait. Right. We fucked up Minori-kan. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Just gonna go change. Who's Minoru again? Ah, it's not him. Tanaka. Something better. Shut up. Who's Minoru? Mino. It's this man! Have you seen this man? I'm sorry. I am reminded once again of the Somnium Files. Ah, I can't wait for the sequel. I cannot wait for the sequel, like, for real. It's gonna be great. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, come on. Okay, did I do it now? No, I didn't. No! 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 I don't know why I picked that. No! I want to see the... I want to see the preview! Night! I want to see the preview! I'm not gonna leave without my preview, you hear me? Holds out gun. Bro, I'm so mad right now, bro! My inner Karen. The only times I'll be a Karen is when the game won't do what I want it to do. I'll only be a Karen to a video game. Cause it can't talk back. And and I can't hurt a game's feelings. Oh hey, Togami. Can you please do not look? Okay, wait, is this enough? No. Jesus Christ. When the fuck am I gonna be able to see this one? I guess I'll just have to keep clicking. Jesus Christ. Why? Also, why is there not a skip button? Or like at least like a quicken button. I'll just go back from timeline when you check. Okay. We'll just escape. Yay. Cool stuff, cool stuff, cool stuff, cool stuff, cool stuff! God damn it. God damn it. What's going on, says Togami. Fuck off, Togami. You're a piece of shit, you know that? Is there a fast forward option by pressing down arrow in the backlog? No. Oh wait, is this it? No. No, I can't. Nope. I can look at the text that follows, but I can't skip to it for some reason. That's a bit. I really tried here. Okay. Can I do now? No. Stop! Shut up. Right. Kaboom! Just see this again because it's a good time. But it doesn't show. Okay, who's short then? Okay, fine. See. I guess we're just gonna leave Minorikawa like that. I don't know, this one? I don't know, this one, who cares? Okay, come on. We can do it! Was a pretty fast one. Okay, let's see if Argo's right, and it will actually play her. Preview, come on. Preview! Yeah, show to be continued. Was back on Mina. Oh, I'm just dumb, sorry. There's only these 3 boys left! 3 guys left standing! Ooh! 3 boyos left, guys! Wait, did I just say 18 to 20? Wait, did I just say 18 to 20? It's gonna be 2 hours in 1 hour? Bro! Oh my god, this is so hype. Ah, double hour special! Hell yeah! Okay, so that's gonna be tomorrow. Whoop whoop. You lost 2 pro tags to gain 1 hour more. Double hour finale special. Well, we're probably gonna finish the game, maybe. I don't know how it works for the endings. Is that something we can do, Argo? If we want to like bulldoze through the bad endings, because we want to do that too, just to get some funny extra content. I was thinking of doing just like a chill stream where we go around and like, can I finish the main story and then go back? Okay. So, but I can finish the game and then go back. I'm just asking. Nice. Okay. Fantastic. Love that. That's great. There's some bonus scenario after the main end that might take some time as well, for what it's worth. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do as much as I can with this game, because I'm having so much fun. Like, even when I finish this, I don't want to leave them alone. Like, I'm like, you know, time! We gotta do it more! You know, that kind of thing. I really fucking love this game. It's a good time. Hey, guess what, guys? We're gonna fucking raid RJ. We're gonna raid my good friend RJ. Oh, right. There's also a special. Let me guys know if you're interested in this. My Japanese is not perfect, but Argo knows of a special that came out about like the actors and what's it called? Like the process of, I think, making it, as far as I understood, but he can't find it with subtitles. So if you want to try watching it together, and I can like pause sometimes and try to like give the cliff notes of what I understand. If that's something you guys would be interested in, let me know. My Japanese is not perfect. I might get stuff wrong, but I could probably give you the general gist of it. So if that's something you're interested in, please head to my Discord. Everyone is welcome, and we can hold a poll on it or something like that. Anything goes. Just let me know, and I'll try to arrange it. I don't really have any other games lined up immediately. There's some stuff I'm interested in playing down the line. For instance, the sequel again to the Spirit Hunter series, Shibito Magine, is coming out, but I don't really know when. And then there's Ida Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative, which I also forgot when is it coming out again. So we still have some time, you know. Can't believe Minoru made it to the final 3. I know, like, wow. Of all people, I really thought it would be like Maria, but like when it was revealed it was her, I was sure she would be, but it makes sense that like she's gonna collapse at some point. Or like even Osawa at that point, but I guess Osawa is kind of being absorbed into Achi's story, or like, sorry, not Achi's, but like he's kind of, the question is, how's Minorikawa gonna play into this last part? Anyways, sorry about all the rambling. Thank you guys so much for coming by tonight. We're gonna rate my good buddy RJ. Go and show him some love. He's very sweet, very kind, very lovely. And I don't know, what was he doing right now? I did not check the game. Sorry, I just saw he was live and I was like, he's playing Dying Light 2. So let's give him a raid. It's June 24th. Okay, yeah, plenty of time. Don't even care.
Okay, thank you guys so much for joining. I was happy to see you. See you guys again tomorrow for
Possibly the finale of the story of this game, Pog?
Hey! Oyasumina!